You're watching the NCAA College Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One on a hot Saturday night in the Pacific Northwest. Welcome to Corvallis and Game 2 of the Corvallis Super Regionals. Oregon State a dramatic comeback to steal Game 1 for Florida State. They're one game away from Omaha, while the Noles trying to send us to a Game 3 tomorrow night. A look at the bracket so far for the Super Regionals. This is the other half. The Game 1s were today, and UCLA is still in action right now with UTSA. Duke winning, LSU 16 runs and a nail-biter in Fayetteville, Arkansas holds off Tennessee. Then in our half of the bracket, the winner of the Corvallis Super Regional will play the winner of the Louisville Super Regional, which is going to a Game 3 between Miami and Louisville tomorrow. Coastal Carolina, the first team that's punched their ticket to Omaha in the College World Series, and Arizona forcing a Game 3 with North Carolina. Along with Devin Travis and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. And Devin, it's going to be hard to top the active Game 1. What a ball game we had yesterday.
It was phenomenal, and this is a game that Florida State really dominated for the first 26 outs. We talked about the first out being the hardest out, and it sure was for these Noles last night. But Miles Bailey, home run, top of the 6th inning. Big time boom. Florida State was feeling fantastic. That's 7 home runs in his last 6 games for Miles.
The Noles carried a 4-1 lead to the bottom of the 9th, and with 2 outs and 2 strikes, Jacob Craig ties the game. The 2-run single nods the game at 4, sends us to a 10th inning. And then in the bottom of the 10th, Oregon State loads the bases. A.J. Singer delivers the walk-off hit in the improbable comeback for the Beavers. Down to their last strike, and they walk it off and a 5-4 win, taking Game 1 from Florida State. Now we transition to Game 2. What's the key, Devin, for Florida State to turn the page tonight?
Well, you know, first and foremost, the base running mistakes early on were a big issue. There were 3 base running mistakes to end the inning, and oftentimes 2-out hitting wins ball games. They had it yesterday, but those mistakes hurt them. The most exciting part for this Florida State club, and why they feel excited tonight and that they have the best chance for victory, they got Jamie Arnold. That's the best pitcher in the entire country.
Kyler McDaniel has him as the #1 prospect as far as pitchers go for the Major League Draft. He is on the mound tonight for the Florida State Seminoles, trying to keep their season alive against Oregon State, trying to get back to Omaha for the first time since 2018. Lineups and first pitch next from Corvallis. Oregon State, Florida State. Game 2 from Corvallis, an overflow electric crowd at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field with the Beavers. One game away from Omaha, and Florida State trying to push us to a Game 3 tomorrow night. The lineup for Mitch Canham and Oregon State, 46 wins for the Beavers, the #8 national seed. And a deep lineup with Iva Arquette in the 2-hole, one of the top prospects coming up for the draft.
Yeah, he sure is, and he had 2 big knocks last night, including the rally that started in the 10th inning. 8 home runs against the slider. That's tied for the most in all Division I baseball. 2 of those are against left-handers. He's a good one.
Dominant lefty takes the mound for Florida State. Jamie Arnold, the junior from Tampa, 8-2 with a 3.12 ERA. He has 110 strikeouts this season in 78 innings, has only allowed 57 hits.
Yeah, just 26 walks to go along with that. So he's a guy that just flat out attacks. He's one of the best left-handed pitchers I've seen in the college baseball ranks in quite some time. He is going to attack 4 pitches. Fastball, cutter, slider, change up to right-handed hitters. It's violent stuff against a potent offense in Oregon State.
And that funky arm angle which he delivers it from as he winds. And it's a called strike as Easton Talt shows bunt leading off for Oregon State. 277 homers for Talt, who is 4th in the country. He's drawn 62 walks this year.
And sees a ton of pitches. Big time key against Jamie Arnold. You want to get in the bullpen against him. Not a lot of quick outs. Hard to string a ton of hits together. Hard to get a lot of runs off Jamie Arnold. But one thing this Oregon State club does do, they're extremely patient, disciplined. Seeing a lot of pitches, big key.
0-2 on Talt leading it off. Arnold works in the third base side of the mound. And that one runs in, and he strikes out Talt on 3 pitches. And that's how our ball game begins.
Yeah, well, if you're wondering how Jamie Arnold's feeling after 119 pitches last week, that's a season high for him. It's pretty good. Attack, attack, attack. That's exactly what this Florida State club needs. He needs to set the tone early for this team.
One out for Iva Arquette. The All-American shortstop, .353 with 18 homers. His first year with Oregon State after 2 seasons at the University of Washington. And he lines his pitch slicing toward the right field corner, but it's foul.
Yeah, it's going to be a big pitch for Jamie Arnold today. The glove side fastball trying to go in there, misses out over the plate. Arquette, he's a guy who dominates the slider. He's looking for pitches out over the plate. 6'5", long levers. You go in there, you better get it in.
2 for 5 of the runs scored yesterday. And that's right in there from Arnold, and it's quickly 0-2 as Arquette riding an 8-game hitting streak into game 2. He had a huge home run on Monday in the final of the Corvallis Regional to knock off USC as Oregon State won 9-0. Arquette grounds it foul over near the Beavers dugout. Now, even though this is Oregon State's home ballpark, they are the visiting team here in game 2 after they were the home team last night in game 1.
And I like that little flip.
Try to make it even this time of the year.
Yeah.
The pitch. Arquette ground ball that trickles back past the diving second baseman Drew Farreau. And Iva Arquette is seeing a single and a one-out base runner for Oregon State.
Yeah, and there goes that man again. Not extremely hard hit off the bat, but there's 2 strikes and you're facing Jamie Arnold. That's a pitch, slider, well located, running in on his hands. Talked about 6'5", long levers, doesn't matter. He's got a short swing, stays inside the baseball. First base runner for Oregon State.
Arquette aboard for the all-time home run leader in Oregon State history. Gavin Turley is at 51 in his career. 1 for 5 with a run in game 1. And he scored the winning run in the bottom of the 10th for Oregon State. As Turley, last year was a first-team All-Pac-12 performer. Of course, this year Oregon State an independent. So I guess he's first-team All-Pac-12 again because they're the only team that's playing in the Pac-12 for right now.
That's right.
As Washington State for a couple of years was their brethren staying in the Pac-12. They played in the Mountain West this year. They'll come back when the Pac-12 restarts in 2026-27.
And I tell you, numbers like this, it'll make you first team all any conference you're in.
Boy, good changeup there. Rather a fastball, he pumped it by him. The deception from Arnold, and it's 1-2 on Turley.
And it's a quick arm. And when you think about how he gets down that mound, it's a little bit nice and easy early, and then it's just explosion. Also, a little tough to pick up that high glove for right-handed hitters.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Second strikeout for Arnold, 96 from the All-American lefty, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, not on the fastball. That's a great sign. Last week, 12 of his 13 strikeouts came via that nasty slider, and today it's been 2 strikeouts, 2 fastballs elevated up in the zone. Looks so good against Jamie Arnold. Tough pitch to catch up to.
Now to bring up the catcher, the senior, Wilson Weber, hitting .332 with 12 home runs. Weber yesterday 2 for 4, a couple of doubles, drove in a run, and he takes ball 1 from Arnold. Weber's got an 8-game hitting streak going. After his pair of doubles yesterday, he homered twice in the regional round here in Corvallis. As he hit one last Saturday against TCU and then Sunday against St. Mary's, as Oregon State had to come back through the loser's bracket after losing their opener to St. Mary's, the West Coast Conference tournament champions, last Friday night. Arquette running, it's a strike, throw down to second base is offline from Jackson West, and Iva Arquette with a steal.
Yeah, and a great one there, and a 2-0 count. That speaks to the headiness of Iva Arquette. He knows, 2-0 count, there's no way Jamie Arnold is worried about me. With the 4th batter up, he takes off, first move easy. 7th stolen base of the year.
The pitch, fouled away. 95 from Arnold. And it's 2-2 on Wilson Weber here with 2 outs in the top of the 1st. Now, Oregon State lost to St. Mary's, then came back, eliminated TCU. Faced elimination again on Sunday, beat St. Mary's and USC, and they beat SC to win the regional as a base hit to left. Arquette around 3rd, and the 2-out RBI single. Wilson Weber gets the Beavs on the board in the 1st.
Yeah, and a well-located pitch, but an even better job of hitting by Wilson Weber. I tell you, he's swinging a hot bat. Slider in tight, probably off the plate, but he keeps those hands tight, and a nice approach against Jamie Arnold. It's not about how hard you hit him. You make contact, good things happen with 2 strikes. Beeves, 1-0 early.
When Oregon State scores first at home this year, they're 18-0, but there should be an asterisk by that because they're the visiting team in their home ballpark tonight. A called strike from Jamie Arnold.
Yeah, a little trickiness going on here tonight. And you know, Rox, how about that stolen base by Ivar Arquette, right? That's the little things in a ball game right there. 2-0 count, takes off.
That one dribbled foul off the bat of Trent Carraway, and that's something that you and I were talking to Link Jarrett about an hour and a half ago in his dugout. And it was the little things he was stressing to us. That, look, they were in position to win the game yesterday, and they were 1 strike away. But it was the little things that kept Oregon State in the game, and they didn't put the Beavers away when they had the chance.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't say enough about how much I love Link Jarrett as a head coach, and it's the greatest coaches out there. They focus on those minute details, you know, from a broad perspective. You look back at that game and you say, man, the bullpen, the bullpen, the bullpen. But the good coaches, they understand that there were opportunities left out where that bullpen would have never been put in that situation.
Up and away to Carraway. Trent Carraway, 270, 11 home runs, the most outstanding player of the Corvallis Regional, as he went 9 for 17 with 5 home runs last weekend. He had 6 during the regular season, then 5 in the Corvallis Regional. Fouled straight back, we'll do it again. And Oregon State elevating that Arnold pitch count now. He's at 21. And
it's a big key to focus in on. And Jamie Arnold's last 3 starts, they've been a little bit rough prior to this outing against Mississippi State, and I think a big reason was just the taxing pitches. 90-plus pitches, only 5 innings pitched against North Carolina and Duke. Big key pitches on Jamie Arnold's arm.
Evens the count, 2-2 on Carraway. I mean, Florida State ran into 3 outs yesterday, and that's something that Link went specifically to with us. The pitch. And it just missed to Carraway. Arnold thought he made his pitch. Home plate umpire Brian Marine primarily works in the Big 12 and the Big 10. Didn't agree. And it's a full count, and you visibly frustrated Arnold.
Yeah, you know, I think he's catcher set up on the inside of the plate. Catcher has to reach back across. Doesn't get the call.
Carraway shoots it out of play. The rest of our umpiring crew here for game 2. Darren Heima, our first base umpire, works out of the Big 12 and the SEC. SEC umpire at second, Javero January, and Dave Susi down the line at third, works in the SEC and the Big 10. 9th pitch of the at-bat. Runner goes, check swing, it's high, ball 4. And Oregon State has 2 on.
That's just a wonderful at-bat right there. Battle, battle, battle. 9-pitch at-bat against Jamie Arnold, sitting at 25 pitches in the first inning, and he looks sharp tonight. You just have to give this Oregon State team a ton of credit for their approach early on.
Early mound visit, Micah Posey, the pitching coach for Florida State, emerging from the first base dugout. And after a long battle there with Carraway, how much of it is just to settle him down and give him a breather?
Yeah, big time. And this crowd is rowdy right now. It's, hey, man, everything's good. We got to score to win anyway. It's a 1-0 ball game. Your stuff looks incredibly sharp. Continue to attack. You're not missing by much. And, you know, when Jamie Arnold is off, the misses can be big. Right now, the misses aren't big. They're small misses. You just got to give Oregon State a ton of credit for laying off those borderline pitches early.
Plate umpire Brian Marine heading out to break up the meeting. They are full throats in this overflow crowd in Corvallis. It's already announced as a new stadium record. Somebody's got to explain to me how more people keep getting in. 4,408 are reportedly here.
This is some environment, man.
A.J. Singer, the walk-off hit in game 1. And the Beavers' second baseman takes the breaking ball high. Singer 2 for 5 with an RBI yesterday. 5-game hitting streak, modest hitting streak for the junior. A transfer from Iowa Western Community College. Wilson Weber at second, Trent Carraway at first, and Singer tomahawks that one out of play. And this was Singer yesterday.
Yeah, looking for a pitch up in the zone, bases loaded, 1 out. Opportunity to win the ball game. Hanging breaking ball, does not miss it right off the bat. Knows he's good there. Oregon State with the late comeback, 5-4 victory.
High to Singer. That was with 1 out of the bottom of the 10th. The Beavers had the bases loaded as Florida State was forced to bring the outfield in.
And Jamie Arnold early on here working up underneath the baseball. Fastball, he loves it up there. A lot of swing and miss, but the first pitch of the at-bat, slider up in the zone. Careful.
Singer in the air, right center field. Hustling over is Gage Harrelson from right. Backing up onto the track, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired, but 29 pitches in the first for Arnold. Just 1 run for Oregon State. The Noles coming to bat. Beavers getting a run against Jamie Arnold in the top of the first. Florida State coming to bat here in the home half of the first inning. They are the designated home team for Game 2 of this Super Regional. And for Link Jarrett and Florida State, the Seminoles this year finished 2nd in the ACC. 17-10 in league play, went 41-15 overall. And Link Jarrett's lineup tonight has Gage Harrelson leading off again. And Cal Fisher hitting 5th in the lineup for Florida State. We welcome those of you just joining us after watching the Savannah Bananas. We're in Corvallis, Oregon, where it's bananas here, considering how electric this crowd has been. With Devin Travis and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. Game 2 of this best-of-3 Super Regional. Oregon State winning Game 1 last night in dramatic fashion, 5-4 in 10. Already a run on the board for the Beavers in the top of the first inning against the All-American lefty Jamie Arnold of Florida State. An RBI single from Wilson Weber with 2 outs, driving in Iva Arquette and giving the Beavers the early 1-0 lead. And now the big lefty for Oregon State, Ethan Kleinschmidt, will go to work against a potent lineup for Florida State.
Boy, it's some good stuff here. His last 2 starts, incredibly sharp. 13 2/3 innings pitched, about 6 hits, 2 runs, and back-to-back quality starts. 13 strikeouts, 3 walks over his last 2 starts as well. It's a 3-pitch mix, fastball into the mid-90s, slider. The changeup, it's trending. 3 strikeouts in his last outing. Just 5 total strikeouts on that changeup on the whole year.
Gage Harrelson leads it off for the Seminoles, 335, 5 homers. And the junior, the transfer from Texas Tech. As Kleinschmidt pours that one in there for a strike. Harrelson 1 for 3, walked twice yesterday. 3rd team all ACC this year, as Harrelson tied for 7th in the ACC in runs scored.
Yeah, a bit of the unsung hero of this ball club really throughout this season. And, you know, obviously a lot of meat in the middle of this lineup, but it all starts at the top. A guy that sees a ton of pitches, sets up Alex Lodis behind him. Max Williams, Miles Bailey. It's been great at the top of this lineup.
Kleinschmidt gets the chase, evens the count 2-2 on Harrelson. Temperature in the mid-80s. They're just past 6:20 the evening in Corvallis. And jammed shot roll to third. Backhanded Trent Caraway. Skips it across to first. And the stretch by Jacob Craig for the out.
Yeah, and a really nice play right there. Sharply hit by Harrelson. Good piece of hitting, fastball up and in. But Caraway over at third base. That defense, we talked about the stick, but you must have good defense in postseason. Always expecting the baseball. Bam, hot shot to him, gets it under control. I love this long hop across the diamond for the out.
And he bounces it so far away from first that allows a clean look for Jacob Craig receiving the throw. The ACC Player of the Year, Alex Lodis, in the air to right toward the corner. Leaking, foul. Trying to go the other way, and it just pushed foul.
And I tell you what, I like that sign early on for Alex Lodis. He's looked a little bit tardy lately, but looks like he's trying to move a little bit early. He's best when his focus is into that right center field gap. I think that's a good approach against Kleinschmidt today.
401 for Lodis, the leading hitter in the ACC. And it's ball 1 from Kleinschmidt. 17 homers, 67 batted in for Lodis. 1 for 5 yesterday, but he struck out 3 times.
He's a heck of a player, and he's just 3 for his last 15. Florida State playing some good baseball in the postseason. They have not gotten their guy really going yet. Looking for him today.
Chased a high fastball. Golden Spikes finalist, Alex Lodis. Transfer from North Florida, where as a freshman, he set the freshman home run record for North Florida. Second year with the Seminoles. The 1-2, fouled away.
He's continued to get better and better, and that's what you look for. A guy that goes to UNF and he makes the jump over to the ACC. How will he respond to a little bit of an uptick in competition? He has. Good last year, even better this year.
Lays off the changeup, 2-2. And I love the story about when he was in high school. He was the backup quarterback. Trey Donaldson, who transferred to Miami from Michigan, started at Auburn. Basketball player, was the starting quarterback, got hurt, and Lodis went in and played quarterback.
Wow, I didn't know that. I guess that explains for the good arm across the diamond, right?
There's not a better defensive shortstop in America. There just isn't. The plays that he makes, ranging to the hole, I don't want to put this on him, but it really is Jeter-esque at times watching him.
I agree. He's been phenomenal.
Lodis lays off. Full count on the Florida State shortstop. Lodis also third in the ACC in RBIs, 10th in homers. Phenomenal season. The payoff. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 95's a good old country hardball from Kleinschmidt.
Man, a good battle by Lodis, but Kleinschmidt, he's locked in, and it's been the elevated fastball really all throughout this postseason that's given Lodis trouble. Ton of loft in that swing, and there is a ton of pop. But right now, it just looks to be a little disconnected in Kleinschmidt. Locked in, fastball top of the zone. That barrel falls behind you a little bit, you run into big trouble.
2 down for Max Williams, center fielder for the Seminoles, and he takes it off the outside. 311, 18 homers for Williams. 8-game hitting streak, going 1 for 5 with an RBI yesterday. Second team all ACC. Max Williams tied for third in the ACC in homers. And it's 2-0.
Again, better against left-handed pitching. You got 4 hitters in this lineup for the Noles that are better against left-handers. You got Harrelson, Max Williams, Miles Bailey, Jackson West. I think a big reason for that, he keeps that front shoulder shut down. Extremely aggressive hitter for these Noles.
Ethan Kleinschmidt gets it in there for a strike. He pitched against St. Mary's elimination game last Sunday here in Corvallis. Fired a career most 114 pitches against the Gales. Went 7 2/3, giving up 2 runs on 5 hits. Picked up the win. And he missed outside. It's 3-1 on Max Williams.
He's a lefty with good stuff, man. And this is a heck of a 1-2 combo for the Beavs with Dax Whitney, who is a freshman that one of the best freshman arms I've seen in quite some time in college baseball, and Kleinschmidt as well. Both of them are throwing their best baseball in the postseason.
Williams fouls it back. Sophomore Kleinschmidt spent last year at a junior college. Lynn Benton Community College, a native of Mount Angel, Oregon. Full count. The pitch to Williams. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Threw it by him, 94 and a 1-2-3, bottom of the first for Ethan Kleinschmidt. 1-0 Oregon State to the second. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Allstate. You're in good hands. That's a look right there. I couldn't pull that off. Not a chance. I can't pull that off that leopard print either.
Yeah, I'd hope not.
1-0 Oregon State, bottom of the order in the second. Jamie Arnold needs a quick inning. And he gets strike 1 on the DH, Tice Peterson, followed by Cannon Reeder and Jacob Craig in the Beavers' second.
Yeah, sure does need a quick inning. Now 30 pitches, 29 pitches in that first.
1-1 on Peterson, hitting .282. 4 home runs for Peterson, 1 for 3 in game 1. Homered twice in the regional round last weekend, going 8 for 17. But he's been dealing with shin splints, and he couldn't play on Monday. It got so bad. But back in there for Oregon State this weekend.
Yeah, great to see him back in there, man. Shin splints are just no joke. And playing on this turf in metal cleats, it really does beat you up. It's hard underneath that turf. Uneven surface messes with those shins.
2-2 the count on Peterson. And he had 2 homers all season going into that regional. And then he had 2 last weekend, giving him 4 now on the year.
That's great timing.
Arnold gets the strikeout. Buries it, the back foot, and the 3rd strikeout for Jamie Arnold. 1 gone in the 2nd. As we look at our bracket for the Super Regionals, trying to advance to Omaha. Coastal Carolina going to the Plains and sweeping Auburn. And then earlier today, Miami gets a win, forcing a game 3 in that all-ACC Super in Louisville. And then Arizona, after getting hammered by North Carolina in game 1, comes back in a roller coaster affair and a wild one in Chapel Hill, and evens that series by winning 10-8 today.
Man, that's crazy, right? The game of baseball, you lose 18-2, you come back the next day, you win 10-8. Any given day, heck of a response by Arizona, and congrats to Coastal Carolina, headed to the College World Series.
1-0 to Cannon Reeder, hit in the left, through the hole, and a base hit, and a line drive single for Reeder, and that's hit number 3 for Oregon State.
And a good piece of hitting right there. You want to hit against Jamie Arnold, you have to pull the baseball as a right-handed hitter. That crossfire, and he does, catches that ball out front, fastball, middle in, doesn't miss it.
1 out base runner for the Beavers. The 9-hitter Jacob Craig, who had the game-tying hit in the bottom of the 9th yesterday on a 2-2 count, and Oregon State was down to their last strike, trailing in the bottom of the 9th. Strike 1 on Craig, hitting .245, and with 13 homers out of the 9th spot in the order.
Yeah, big guy, ton of juice, used to have a lot of movement, bigger leg kick. Shut it down, committed to the no stride, minimized movement.
Lays off. On appeal, no, he didn't go.
And you've seen a lot of success with that adjustment. He's not a guy that needs that big leg kick. Ton of power. More simple move, sees the ball longer, ready to hit early.
The pitch. Bounding ball toward the hole and through. And Craig with a single to left. Stopping at second is Reeder. And Oregon State has 2 on with 1 out as they go back to the top of the order, and Easton Talt.
Yeah, he continues to swing. A hot bat right there, and Jamie Arnold does a nice job getting this ground ball. Cal Fisher, sure-handed third baseman. But this turf, you just never know how it's going to bounce off of it. Florida State plays on normal grass, and it's a dirt infield, and Cal Fisher, that ball just scoops up underneath that glove. And the Beavs back-to-back innings, threatening.
And the majority of their games are played on natural grass.
Yep.
And it's the field turf everywhere here. Not even the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, it's an adjustment, no doubt.
Talt struck out in the 1st, and he takes it for ball 1.
Yeah, leadoff man having a ton of success with runners in scoring position. 355 on the year.
Arnold, and he gets the strike. 1-1 the count on Talt. Corners playing up what would be the edge of the grass, in the middle of the diamond, cheating for a double play here.
Yeah, ton of bunts from Talt. Very good lefty on the mound, can pull it with them. So you see Florida State bringing the corners in.
Fouled away by Easton Talt.
And now with 2 strikes here, you can go ahead and back up your corner infielders, play defense, give yourself a little more room.
Jamie Arnold having to work early in this game, already 42 pitches.
Yeah, 29 in the 1st, 13 here. That's a great game plan against Jamie Arnold, and you know that's the mission here. Facing Jamie Arnold, hey, you got to get into the bullpen.
Just getting a piece as Talt fighting off the breaking ball. As Devin told you, Arnold coming off season high 119 pitches in a win against Mississippi State, where he struck out 13 last Saturday in Tallahassee as the Noles swept through the Tallahassee region.
Yeah, he was electric.
On appeal, no.
Really good take there. And it's such a tough pitch to lay off of, man. Left on left, the ball's basically coming from behind you. It's a great take. Talt, 7 home runs on the season, 5 of them with 2 strikes. So this is when he gets to be his best.
Got him chasing. Second time that Arnold has struck out Talt, and the 4th for Jamie Arnold. 2 on, 2 out, and Iva Arquette coming up for the Beavers.
Yeah, and in the first inning, it was 2 strikeouts, both on the fastball. This inning, 2 strikeouts, both on the slider, and I love this by Jamie Arnold. It's why he's one of the best in the entire country. You take one, but you almost go. Hey, man, I'm coming right back to it. I don't think you can lay off it twice. Talt can't. Big strikeout, 1 to go.
Arquette singled, stole a base, and scored in the first, the game's lone run. And that one's just low to the 6'5" Oregon State shortstop for ball 1. As Arnold has won each of his last 2 starts, he beat Duke at the ACC tournament, went 5 innings against the Blue Devils, who won their super regional matchup against Murray State earlier today. There's 5 ACC teams into the supers, including Florida State. On the inside edge, and a called strike. 1 and 2 on Arquette.
And you can see they're trying to focus on lanes right here. First pitch, they tried to go away, missed. Middle down, back-to-back pitches on the inner half. Probably looking for a back foot slider here against Arquette.
The 1-2. And it just missed from Arnold. Tried the back door with the breaking ball.
Yeah, how about that? Change up right there. Just missed out off the outer edge of the plate. And that's a pitch for Jamie Arnold, starter. Really fastball slider coming into the season, but that 3rd pitch, it's been great for him.
Hard grounder to second, down to an E, Drew Furrow fields, and he throws out Arquette, and Arnold escapes the jam. Strands 2 runners. Middle 3rd of the order coming up in the home second for Florida State. 1-0 Beavers. 1-0 Oregon State as we go to the bottom of the second. Game 2 of the Corvallis Super Regional. The Oregon State up 1-0 as well in the series with Devin Travis and our ESPN crew. Roxy Bernson with you, and the Beaver hitters making Jamie Arnold work early in this game.
Yeah, they sure are, and that's a great game plan against Jamie Arnold. 50 pitches through just 2 innings. It's a big part of this game plan when you face Jamie Arnold. The message is, hey guys, let's tax his arm. Let's find a way to get into that Florida State bullpen.
Miles Bailey, who is scorching for Florida State, leads off the home second. He homered in game 1 yesterday.
He's hot. 7 home runs last 6 games. A freshman that just keeps getting better and better and better, playing his best baseball in the postseason.
The pitch, and that's high to Bailey. 325, 18 homers now for the freshman. He was drafted in the 20th round, but turned down the White Sox to go to Florida State. As Ethan Kleinschmidt's 2-0 pitch, jam shot loop down the left field side, and that's foul. The home run yesterday for Miles Bailey, and Devin an absolute no-doubter.
Yeah, sure is, and he's just doing such a great job getting himself into hitters' counts. The walks, extremely elevated. The strikeouts, way down. He's laying off those borderline pitches, looking for pitches in his strike zone. He's aggressive as well early on in the count, taking advantage of big-time mistakes.
Top of the zone from Kleinschmidt. As Bailey tied for 4th now in the ACC with 18 home runs, along with Max Williams, his teammate. Bailey's got an 8-game hitting streak going for the Seminoles. 2-2 leading off the last of the second. Ethan Kleinschmidt. Did it go? Yes. Trying to hold up on the slider and could not. And the 3rd strikeout, and Kleinschmidt's retired the first 4 Seminoles to start his night.
And how about it? 3 strikeouts in a row for Kleinschmidt. He's locked in early. Goes to the slider there. Miles Bailey can't hold up. And I mean, you think about this Florida State offense, a ton of power, really, 1 through 9 in this lineup. Guys that can change the ball game with one swing. But yesterday, 15 strikeouts, 46 strikeouts over their last 3 games. So 3 strikeouts early on here. Big focus for Florida State. 2-strike hitting has to be better. Link told us that.
Off speed drops in there. Cal Fisher had 2 hits yesterday, the sophomore third baseman for Florida State. He's reached base in 23 straight games, hitting .313, 8 home runs. And the 1-strike pitch, ground ball near the bag at second base. A.J. Singer rifles to first, 2 outs.
And just continuing to attack. Kleinschmidt got it working early on. He's got a great defense. He's one of the best defenses in the entire country. A.J. Singer especially, man. He can play all 4 positions. Extremely active out there. 2 quick outs for Kleinschmidt.
2 outs, bottom of the second. Drew Faroux, switch hitter, batting right against the lefty Kleinschmidt. As Florida State looking for a base runner. And Faroux fouls it away. 307, 16 homers for the Florida State second baseman. First team all ACC this year. 1 for 4, scored 2 runs yesterday in game 1. And I need to correct myself. The story I was telling about Alex Lodis was actually Drew Faroux, who was the backup to Trey Donaldson. Jammed and fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, big, strong, physical second baseman. And really, year over year, the biggest thing I've been impressed with Drew Faroux is the improvements he's made from the right side. What a talent to be able to be a switch hitter in today's game with all the funky arm actions from right and left-handed guys. He's made a lot of nice adjustments.
Tapped at the plate, foul as Faroux fights it off. And the interesting thing to me that stood out, we talked to Link Jarrett Thursday before this Super Regional began, is, look, he's coached a lot of great players and great teams. Drew Faroux's the best second baseman, he said, that he's ever coached.
Wow. He's coached some good ones, man, and he's got a ton better. You know, really, the double play has been extremely impressive this year. He's a second baseman, natural shortstop, big time on.
Out toward right center. That's a hit for Faroux to the alleyway. This one skips and a sliding stop on the warning track by Cannon Reeder and cruising into second base. Opposite field, Drew Faroux a double and the first base runner for Florida State.
Boy, oh boy, that's hitting right there, baby. Up in the zone, drives it into right center field. And you think about last night, a little bit of a hangover early on for the Noles. They're looking for something to create some momentum back on their side. It was 2-out hitting yesterday. That was the big-time key for these Noles. 3 of their 4 runs scored with 2 outs. And Drew Faroux right there, beautiful piece of hitting. First base runner for the Noles, first man in scoring position. An opportunity right here for Delamalier, the guy that's been inserted into this lineup against left-handed pitching. Big knock yesterday.
1 for 2, came up as a pinch hitter yesterday, driving in a run, and he fouls that off his front foot at home plate. And it's 0-1 on Brody Delamalier. Made 1 start in the regional round for Florida State last Saturday against Mississippi State.
He's got some juice, man. Everyday left fielder early on in the season. Chase Williams, shoulder problems, not playing. Got an opportunity to get a lot of playing time back in the lineup late in the season.
Fouled off at the plate. Delamalier originally had committed to Link Jarrett when Link was coaching Notre Dame. And then when Link came home to Tallahassee, as Jarrett, a former Florida State infielder, Delamalier followed Link Jarrett to Florida State.
Yeah, you commit to the head coach. He wanted to play for Link Jarrett. Link leaves, comes back home to his Noles, follows.
Going up the ladder, Ethan Kleinschmidt. 4 strikeouts for the Oregon State lefty. 1-0 Beavers to the 3rd.
Leading off the 3rd inning for Oregon State, the left fielder, number 1, Gavin Turley.
All right, Dari, the Corvallis Super Regional. As we go to the 3rd, heart of the order for Oregon State against Jamie Arnold, Gavin Turley, Wilson Weber, Trent Caraway. And the lefty delivers and trying to bunt And Turley fouls it off as he took a peek with Cal Fisher playing deep at third. And the all-time home run leader in Beavers history was going to drop one down.
Oh, yeah, and this is a team that can really slug. And these are two very similar ball clubs. Both hit a lot of home runs, both pitch well, both play great defense. But this Oregon State team, the way they differ is they are willing to take their hits with bunts when the defense allows.
0-2 on Turley, who struck out in the first inning against Arnold. Arnold has struck out 4. But he has to be efficient.
Yes, he
as
does.
His pitch count is climbing. But I also know, look, Jamie Arnold's going to be, if he's not the #1 pick, he's definitely going top 5. But he also desperately wants to win tonight.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean,
and it's going to take a lot to get him out of this game.
You better believe it. You better believe it. He's one of the greatest Noles to ever wear this uniform. And he does not want tonight to be the last time he sees the mound.
2-2 the count. That one's toward the feet of Turley, and it hit his front foot. And Turley, a leadoff hit by pitch and a base runner for Oregon State. And that is, for Arnold, the 15th batter he has hit this season as he take a look at the other side of the bracket. As Dari updated you on UCLA coming back against UTSA. Duke with a win. LSU clobbers West Virginia in game 1 in Baton Rouge. Then Arkansas and a wild scene in Fayetteville, taking game 1 from Tennessee.
Chris Pollard, the Duke Blue Devils. Felt like it's a matter of time before they get to Omaha. They're right there.
Wilson Weber out to right, coming in, making the catch, Gage Harrelson. And that's what Arnold needed to get an out on the first pitch.
Yes, sir. Sure was. Attack, attack, attack. And, you know, that's the message with Coach Micah Posey and Jamie Arnold and Micah Posey. They have a fantastic relationship. They've been through a lot together. And that's the message in the dugout. Jamie, get in that strike zone, baby. You got to attack. Off to a slow start this inning with the hit by pitch. You said 15 on the year. Here he goes. Opportunity, 1 pitch away from a ground ball double play. Get out of this inning.
Trent Carraway walked, bounding ball toward the middle. Speared by Lodis, goes to second. Farrow, the turn, throws wildly. Luckily for Florida State, it hit the railing and bounced right to Miles Bailey and did not go into the dugout, which would have given Trent Carraway second base. But what a phenomenal play by Lodis to get the out at second.
Boy, he can play some shortstop flat out, man. I love to watch this guy play. Not an easy play. How about that big hop right there? Stays with it. And Drew Farrow right there, no problem at all. Gets a break. Has his back turned to the first baseman. You got to face your target from Lodis. But gets down the line, beats it, extends this inning for Oregon State.
2 outs, runner at first. A.J. Singer, a flyout victim in the first inning, takes ball 1.
And Trent Carraway over at first base, 4 of 5 stolen bases this year in that first inning. Ivar Arquette stealing that base in a 2-0 count was the difference.
Gets the strike.
Anytime you're running against Jamie Arnold, it has to be first move. Hard to get a read here with Jamie. He's quick to the plate. If you're going, you just got to believe it on that first action.
2-1. Trent Carraway, the runner at first. Running the first for the Beavers on the Wilson Weber RBI single. Singer lifts this one back out of play.
50 pitches coming into this inning for Jamie Arnold, sitting at 11 pitches this inning. Felt like 65 was the number this inning. You stay under 65 pitches. Doing 119 pitches a week ago. Reason he didn't start yesterday. Give him that 4 weeks rest. Big inning for Jamie.
Ground ball near second base. Drew Farrow gobbles it up, gets the force. The Beavers are gone in the third. A runner left. Go to the bottom of the third, 8-9-1. Coming up for the Noles. We'll catch up with the Oregon State head coach, Mitch Canham, next. Along with Devin Travis and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein in Corvallis, 1-0 Oregon State in game 2 to the bottom of the third. The head coach of the Beavers, Mitch Canham, with us. And Mitch, when we talked on Thursday, you were talking about being in the moment, And for this team, it's supposed to happen this way, right? The way you battled through the losers bracket last weekend. And then yesterday was just another symbol of that. Is that another example of the character that you have in your program right now?
I think the examples are all around us, on the field and off the field, who these guys are and how they go about their business, why they love this place so much. And you can tell by the way that they play, the way that they interact with the fans and the kids after the game, you know, how they pick each other up regardless of the situation. So even yesterday, it just shows a ton of heart. Craig right there, you know, down to the last strike, and he's locked in. The guys are right there behind him. It was just such a positive moment.
Coach, you look like you got a great game plan against Jamie Arnold early on in this ball game. 62 pitches. Was that a big focus coming into this game? Is trying to find a way to get to the bullpen?
You know, it wasn't sitting taking too many pitches. It was actually, our plan is to be aggressive to stuff in the middle of the zone, making sure that, you know, we're not taking high quality pitches. That would be a shame. Our guys have, you know, they look balanced in the box right now. They look like they're seeing it pretty well. He's got really good stuff, and so it requires our focus to be on point, which is good. I like where we're at. You know, Arquette going down. Oh, all right. Next pitch, baby. Here you go. I like that, you know, Arquette, two at-bats in a row. Hard ground balls, you know, and a lot of the other guys, Craig, working low, because a lot of guys miss underneath his stuff because it has some good rides. So I like where they're at right now.
Mitch, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Go
Mitch,
Beast.
thank you.
Cheers.
Mitch Canham with us as Jackson West reaches in a ball that slips through the third baseman, Trent Caraway. A leadoff base runner for Florida State, an error on the Beavers' third baseman. And now the 9-hitter Chase Williams digs in. Leadoff base runner.
Chase Williams, guy they got to get going.
Takes ball one after showing bunt.
Dynamic part of this lineup is Chase Williams, a guy moved down to the 9-hole, hitting in the 7-hole really for the bulk of this season. Second leadoff man. These guys can hit leadoff for this club next year. Got to get him rolling.
Kleinschmidt a move to first. Williams had a tough day yesterday. He's 0 for 3, struck out 3 times, and misplayed a couple of balls in left field.
Yeah, he did, and he's a fantastic outfielder. Had a tough day out there yesterday. Got to reset back to today.
And he takes ball 2. Once again, Williams showing bunt, but Kleinschmidt not finding the zone.
Yeah, here in a 2-0 count. I'm thinking we're going to see a bunt. Florida State, not a club that bunts a ton. Chase Williams, guy that's been struggling as of late, 8 strikeouts in his last 10 at-bats. Opportunity for a fastball.
Only 10 sacrifice bunts all season for Florida State. Williams doesn't have one. And now it's 3-0. And you have a hitter, Devin, trying to give himself up. But Kleinschmidt needs to throw a strike.
Yes, he does. Down 3-0 here. Florida State gets their first leadoff man on of the day. And 3 straight balls in the driver's seat here for Chase.
You know he's taking here.
Oh, yeah.
As Kleinschmidt grooves one in there for a strike. Now it's 3-1 on Chase Williams, hitting .340 on the year. With the 3-1 count, what do you do?
Yeah, I think you're letting him swing away here early in the ball game. He works himself to a 3-1 count extremely hard to get to a 3-1 count as a hitter.
Bunted foul to the screen, and it's full on Williams, who is a switch hitter by trade, but because of the shoulder injury he suffered in early March, he's been relegated to batting left-handed the rest of the way.
Man, it's so tough, and it's such an advantage for a switch hitter. You think about bunting a tough lefty here, left on left. You mentioned no sacrifice bunts on the year. Having to bunt left on left here, something he's never done.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. 5th strikeout for Kleinschmidt. And after it was 3-0 on Chase Williams, Kleinschmidt battles back.
Yeah, he sure does. That's why he's one of the best left-handed pitchers in the entire country, having a fantastic year. That's 5 strikeouts on the night, 3-0. Count battles his way back, gets a big strikeout, and Florida State, top of the lineup up here. 2nd time through the lineup, Florida State hitters on the year hitting .344. 7th best in Division I baseball, and the 2nd best of all teams that are left here in the Sweet 16.
Gage Harrelson grounded out in the 1st. Short lead at first for Jackson West, reached on an error. And Harrelson runs to bunt. And that was more dragging and trying to bunt his way on than it was to sacrifice.
Oh, yeah, trying to steal a hit. Said Florida State, the way they differ from Oregon State is they don't bunt a ton, and next thing you know, back-to-back hitters attempting bunts.
Ethan Kleinschmidt, the one-strike pitch, and that's on the outer half of the plate, and it's 0-2 on Harrelson.
Mentioned 15 strikeouts for Florida State yesterday, already 5 tonight. Gage Harrelson down 0-2 here.
The pitch, and that's high for a ball. As Florida State swept through the regional in Tallahassee last weekend. Went to Omaha last year as they swept the Super Regional from UConn in Tallahassee a year ago. As they won the opening game of that Super, they pounded out 24 runs against UConn. 24-4 in game 1. Then it took them 12 innings to win game 2, 10-8. And then they were on to Omaha in the College World Series.
Baseball.
Harrelson down on strikes. 6th for Kleinschmidt, 2 gone.
Yeah, just a breaking ball up in the zone. A little bit of a backup breaking ball as well. Sometimes the hardest pitch to hit in baseball. You see it up there, you think it's going to drop down. It kind of just floats. Swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts. That's 2 an inning so far for Florida State.
Already 10 swing and misses against Kleinschmidt.
Man.
Lodice, he struck out in the first. Jackson West, the runner at first. 2 down. The pitch. Lodice loops it foul, first base side.
You see them getting in underneath the hands of Lodice, and he's just late. If I'm Lodice, man, I'm getting in that box, and I'm just thinking about firing. I'm all over the fastball, every breaking ball. I don't care if I swing through it 10 years early. Got to be ready to hit that fastball early.
1-1. It's Florida State for the 19th time in a Super Regional, which is the most since the tournament adopted this format in 1999. And they have the 2nd most tournament appearances in the history of the tournament. 61st time Florida State is in the NCAA tournament. Only Texas has more.
And still chasing that first national title. All the success had in Tallahassee. One of the best baseball programs in the entire country, year in and year out. But man, baseball, it's really dang hard to win.
Way outside to Lodice. A blue blood in Florida State, really a new blood in Oregon State, with the way this program has come on. 3 national titles for the Beavers in the last 20 years, engineered by the legendary Pat Casey. Mitch Cannon played on 2 of those national championship teams. Kleinschmidt, check swing to Lodice, go, no. He held up, and it's full on the Florida State shortstop.
Yeah, it's a good take there by Lodice. We'll take a peek at this from the side. Yeah, it's a great call. He did not swing. But you can tell everything's just happening extremely quick for Lodice right now.
West will be running on the pitch. As a throw to first, and Devin, that floats with a balk because the first baseman, Craig, was not at the bag. He was playing behind first base.
Yeah, and it's a big, you're exactly right, but the key is you have to move toward first base, and that play was on right there. As soon as his leg picks, Craig crashing to first base.
Ball 4 to Lodice. And there's 2 on for Florida State with 2 down for Max Williams.
That's a heck of an at-bat right there, and that's why Lodice is one of the best hitters in the entire country. This is the hardest game in the entire world, and to hit 400 at this point of the season, it's unbelievable. And the last Florida State player to do it is Tyler Holt, 2009, one of my teammates, one of the best hitters I've ever played with. And the good hitters, they find a way to get on base still. That's a great at-bat by Lodice right there, passing the baton.
Max Williams struck out in the first. 2 on 2 out for Florida State. Kleinschmidt, and he misses with ball 1.
Max Williams, just 4 hits in the postseason. All 4 hits came with an RBI, big home run in the regionals. And then all RBI singles from there.
He had a big RBI single yesterday in game 1. And he takes high, it's 2-0.
Max Williams, one of these lefties, better against left-handed pitching. Here in the driver's seat, 2-0 count.
The catcher Wilson Weber going out to the mound. Mentioned Mitch Canham won those national titles playing for Pat Casey. The back-to-back in 2006 and 2007 when they played North Carolina in the championship series in both years.
Yeah. Pretty dang cool. Plays for the legend, and Paul Casey wins 2 national championships. Now gets to come back home and lead this squad. And Rox, you see those shadows?
How tough is it to hit right now because of the shadow?
Oh my God, it's a disaster. And by no means is this an excuse for Florida State. In Tallahassee, Dick Howser Stadium, that's where I played collegiate baseball in the shadows. It's real this time of year. It's incredibly tough though.
Line the other way, and Max Williams a single. Around third, Jackson West will come home and tie the game for Florida State. The clutch 2-out hit, and Max Williams delivers, and Florida State takes advantage of the air to open up the inning.
Yes, they sure do. And there goes that guy, Max Williams, man. I tell you, clutch hitting, you got to have it in the postseason. Now 5 hits. Every hit has mattered a ton for Max Williams, and he's better left on left. I think a big reason is because of that right there. He's willing to shoot the ball the other way, fastball over the heart of the plate, and he's pumped up, man. This Florida State club looking for something to grab onto after last night. Tough loss, but they even the score.
And here's Miles Bailey, but first Rich Dorman, a mound visit for the Oregon State pitching coach after the unearned run surrendered by Kleinschmidt. And you can't give good teams extra outs. Oregon State gave Florida State an extra out, and the Noles made them pay.
Yes, they do. That's exactly what good teams do. You said it, Rox. It's a potent lineup, man, and sure, the strikeouts have been up, but the clutch hitting, they've had it in the postseason.
Rich Dorman, the pitching coach for Oregon State, talking with Kleinschmidt. There's what he's done so far. 6 strikeouts for the sophomore Kleinschmidt. Jamie Arnold really had to work those first 2 innings. A little bit easier for him in the third, but the pitch counts are elevated. So when you look at those numbers, Devin, it tells you that we're getting to the bullpen at some point, maybe even in the middle innings.
Yeah, no doubt. And in postseason baseball, it comes down to the bullpen. Oftentimes, it's going to be tight ball games, 2 evenly matched clubs. 33 pitches coming into the inning for Kleinschmidt. Now 22 so far this inning. Florida State doing a nice job taking advantage of getting that extra out.
Miles Bailey struck out his first time, and he takes ball 1. It just missed from Kleinschmidt down low. And Bailey homered against a lefty, Nelson Keljo, yesterday.
Yeah, he's a guy that's better against left-handed pitching as well. Incredibly tough and impressive out of a young freshman in the ACC.
Fouled straight back.
And you know, Miles, he just doesn't have a lot going on. You know, you think about power hitters and the big leg kick and a ton of action going on. Big, strong guy. Nice, simple move.
1-1 on Bailey. The pitch. Chopped foul by Miles Bailey. 1-2 the count on the big freshman for Florida State.
Fantastic job here by Kleinschmidt after the mound visit. Attacking the strike zone, working ahead. Looking for his 7th strikeout of the night.
Lodis at second, Max Williams the runner at first. The pitch. Line drive on the ground. A couple of hops to second base from short right. A.J. Singer throws out Miles Bailey. And Florida State gets the run to tie the game. Max Williams delivers the clutch 2-out hit.
He's been clutch all postseason. Max Williams here in the 3-hole, left on left. 51st RBI of the year, knotted up at 1, headed to the 4th.
All right, Dari. Michael Barnett got the win. Now 12-1 for UCLA this year in a 5-2 win as John Savage's team takes the opening game of that super. Bottom of the order for Oregon State as we move along to the 4th. Tice Peterson, Cannon Reeder, Jacob Craig, as Peterson struck out in the 2nd against Jamie Arnold. The 1-0, the other way, sinking in right, and right toward Gage Harrelson, who makes the catch.
Oh, Craig is locked in, man. Take that slider and be able to drive that ball. Hit that hard to right field. It's a great sign for Craig. And a quick out for Jamie Arnold.
Our game track, as the Beavers got the RBI single in the first from Wilson Weber and the unearned run for Florida State on the 2-out RBI hit from Max Williams in the third. As we are 1-1 in the top of the fourth here in game 2 after the Oregon State dramatic win in 10 yesterday. Cannon Reeder singled in the second. Beavers center fielder lifts this one out of play, and it's 0-1 on Reeder.
And Jamie Arnold in that strike zone attacking. 12 pitches last inning. That was big for him. 50 pitches rolling into that third inning. Needed a quick one and got it. Looks like he's finding himself settling in here after 119 pitches a week ago.
Called strike, 0-2 on Reeder. The bottom of the order has come up big so far for Oregon State in this Super Regional, and it was Jacob Craig who's on deck, who had the big 2-run single to tie the game yesterday. But the bottom 3 hitters are 7 for 15 so far against Florida State pitching.
Man, you think about how potent this lineup is. You're able to get some length from 7, 8, 9 rolling into Talt and Arquette and Turley. That's a scary, scary thing for opposing defenses.
1-2 on Reeder. Arnold. And it's fought off down the right side, out of play.
And excuse me, that was Tice Peterson who shot that ball to right field to lead off this inning. Sorry, Tice. Beautiful piece of hitting.
One and 2 on Reeder. Arnold, the pitch. Another foul out of play. As Reeder spoiling some pitches and making that pitch count rise for Jamie Arnold.
Yeah, so frustrating for a pitcher on the mound who's attacking, making his pitches. Jamie Arnold, he's a tough guy to get to in a 3-0 count. 2-strike count, just put the bat on the ball, foul him off, hope for a mistake.
Way outside to Cannon Reeder. 2-2 on the Beavers center fielder. And Oregon State, we alluded to what they had to do last week. After dropping the opener and then having to come back and win 4 straight to win the Corvallis Regional. Locked him up, strike 3 called. Snapped that one off.
Man, you think about that 1-2 pitch, right? And that fastball that just takes off way away. And, you know, the really good pitchers, there's no such thing as a waste pitch. They use that miss to grab a strike. And out of the hand, it looks like that pitch is headed to the exact location that fastball was headed the pitch before. But Jamie Arnold rips the slider on that same lane, gets the take. That's just nasty.
5 strikeouts for Arnold. Jacob Craig, who singled in the second, takes ball 1. 10th appearance in a Super Regional for Oregon State, and a liner, and moving up the middle. Drew Farreau reaches across his body, makes the catch. 1, 2, 3, go the Beavs. In the 4th. Tomorrow, around college baseball, it all come your way starting at noon Eastern on ESPN. Game 3 from Louisville between the Canes and the Louisville Cardinals. At the same time, Game 3 in Chapel Hill between the Arizona Wildcats and the number 5 national seed Tar Heels. Duke will try to sweep Murray State. That's on ESPNU at noon, if we have a Game 3 tomorrow night here. It'll be on ESPN2 at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Florida State would need to win to force that winner-take-all Game 3 here tomorrow night.
Yeah, and it's a tight ball game early. Here with the Noles, Jamie Arnold doing an incredible job settling down the last 2 innings. 12 pitches and 11 pitches. And Kleinschmidt, sharp 6 strikeouts, battling out of that jam last inning. The leadoff error Florida State cashed in on a single by Max Williams, and just as we expected, tight ball game in the middle parts of this game.
Cal Fisher grounded out in the second, and he takes ball 2 from Ethan Kleinschmidt. And it's 2-1 on the Florida State second baseman. Two similar programs that are clearly playing at an elite level right now. Tied up Fisher. And you alluded to it. Both teams hit homers. Both teams have tremendous pitching. They play sparkling defense. And yesterday's game and how well it was played on both sides and how dramatic it was, a product of two teams that are eerily similar.
Yeah, that's well said. That is perfectly said, and they are. They're just two evenly matched teams. And I spent my college days at Florida State, and sitting back here watching this ball game, that's a pretty tough thing to watch as someone who spent all my playing days here playing for the Noles. But it's just a beautiful ball game, man. It's two great ball clubs that are just going at it, in Oregon State, unfortunately for the Noles, got the best of them late.
The pitch fouled straight back by Fisher. And we'll do it again. Fisher followed by Drew Faroux and Brody DeLamielleure here in the home half of the fourth for Florida State.
Florida State battling with two strikes. Mentioned Oregon State fighting off tough pitches against Jamie Arnold. Kleinschmidt, pitch count running up. Florida State doing a nice job.
Swing and a miss, got him. Cal Fisher strikes out. That's 7 for Kleinschmidt.
Yeah, baby, he's got that slider working, man. Just continuing to attack. Florida State fouling off tough pitches. But when a pitcher has his go-to pitch locked in, that slider, he wins. Well located, 7 strikeouts on the night.
One out. Here is Drew Faroux, who doubled in the second inning. Second baseman for the Seminoles. We're playing in the NCAA tournament on the West Coast for just the second time. You think of the 61 tournament appearances for Florida State. This is only the second time they have traveled to the West Coast for an NCAA tournament.
Very hard to believe.
Swing and a foul out of play. And the only other time Florida State played out west, you got to go back to 1996. They went to a regional hosted by Stanford at Sunken Diamond. They swept the regional. Florida State advanced. Back then, you won the regional, you went to the College World Series. It was a different format. As Faroux takes the ball, as they beat Stanford, and on that Stanford Cardinal team, their top pitcher was none other than our teammate here at ESPN, KP.
Nice.
Kyle Peterson.
KP, what a great man. I remember him Little League World Series. It was his first year doing this. Met him in Omaha. My wife babysat his kids. She's from Omaha, Nebraska. And now Stanford's an ACC foe to the Florida State Seminoles. Crazy.
Still trying to wrap my head around the Cal and Stanford in the ACC.
Atlantic Pacific Coast
The
Conference.
All-Coast Conference.
That's right, that's right.
2-2 the count on Faroux. And it just missed low from Kleinschmidt and a full count.
Yeah, it's a good take there. That ball's down. Well-located pitch.
But that was a Florida State team that had Adam Faroux, Drew's dad, on that team.
Wow.
Along with J.D. Drew, Randy Choate was pitching for Florida State then. And also on that Stanford team was A.J. Hinch, the manager now of the Tigers. As Faroux goes down swinging, that is 8 for Kleinschmidt. And there's 2 outs in the last of the fourth.
Number 23, designated hitter Brody DeLamielleure.
2 gone. And speaking of Kyle Peterson, there he is. Back in 1996.
Nice glasses, KP. Man,
You
he
think
was
he
nasty.
cringes every time that picture gets put up?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
we abuse it. We do.
You better believe he does.
Strike 1 to Brody DeLamielleure, who struck out in the second inning. But that Stanford rotation that year had KP, Chad Hutchinson, who went on to the NFL and pitched in the big leagues, who was a quarterback, and Jeff Austin, who was a first-round draft pick as well. That was Stanford's rotation that year, and he had A.J. Hinch catching.
Wow. And the Noles rolled in there and got him. That's impressive.
And the 2 coaches, the legendary Mike Martin and Mark Marcus, speaking of legends.
Yep. Really cool.
0-2 on DeLamielleure. Kleinschmidt. strikes out the side. 9 punch-outs for Ethan Kleinschmidt. We are 1-1 to the 5th, top of the order coming up for the Beavers. We'll catch up with the head coach of Florida State, Link Jarrett, next. Tied at 1 in game 2 as we go to the 5th. Florida State, the home team in this matchup, as we're joined by Link Jarrett, the head coach of Florida State. And the response by your team coming out, it just seems, again, another battle, 2 great teams. What have you liked about your team so far early in this one?
Well, you know, Max had a big 2-out knock. That was obviously important, and we've had a couple of those yesterday and then again there. I think Jamie looks like he's got it. It's honestly tricky with the glare off that left field banner. From our perspective, it looks like his stuff's pretty good. Their catcher, big at bat for them in the first inning, but he's settled in. Now the pitch count has started to mount a little bit, so he needs to have an efficient inning and keep this thing in check. He needs to go a little bit, but this needs to be efficient.
Link, I know you make no excuses for your hitters, and you guys deal with these shadows in Tallahassee, as we remember in our playing days. What's it like for these hitters? Are they picking up the ball okay?
It sure doesn't look like it right now, does it?
Man,
the punch outs are mounting, and you know you have to disarm the fastball and hope that you're in a position with that type of rhythm that you can somehow adjust and either take some of those secondary pitches or manage mid-pitch adjust and try to put them in play. But Kleinschmidt's good. It's tough. It's a tough task. These are 2 really good left-handed pitchers, and it's not easy. And clearly the view right now with the shadow makes it that much more difficult. But it's that way for both teams, so we just have to continue to try to grind, and maybe we can manufacture something at some point.
Link, appreciate the time again. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Link.
Head coach of the Seminoles. 1-1, Talt leading off the 5th, and he lines it foul down the right field side as Easton Talt has struck out twice so far tonight. It's not only tough to pick up the baseball as far as the hitters looking out toward the mound, Devin, but if you're a fielder, for example, Chase Williams in left, that is a nasty sun field right now.
Oh, no kidding. And you see him out there really between every pitch. He's got his hand trying to protect that glare.
Talt chasing down on strikes as Jamie Arnold has struck Easton Talt out for the 3rd time, and that's 6 for Arnold.
Yep, and just nasty. Jamie Arnold settling in this ball game, getting that slider going again early on in the ball game. 2 strikeouts in the first inning on the fastball. Now 4 in a row on that slider. Just a tough pitch, man. So tough for left-handed hitters to hang on long enough.
Here is Iva Arquette, 1 for 2 with a run. Arnold, strike 1. And after he was fighting himself a little bit early, and Link alluded to it, Devin, it looks like he has found his rhythm right now.
Yeah, he sure has. And back-to-back innings, minimizing that pitch count, 12 and 11 pitches. 50 pitches through 2 innings, now sitting just at 79, 80th on the way. So he's done a nice job settling into this ball game.
There's the pitch count by inning as Iva Arquette takes ball 2. Arquette singled, stole second, and then with 2 outs, scored on the Wilson Weber hit in the first inning. That gave Oregon State a 1-0 lead. The Beavers got an unearned, or the Seminoles got an unearned run in the bottom of the 3rd. Is Arquette in the air to right, hangs up there for Gage Harrelson, over and in. And there's 2 outs, but the Noles got their run in the bottom of the 3rd as Jamie Arnold now has struck out 6 and just seems to be the Jamie Arnold you're used to seeing right now.
Yeah, and he does not have his best stuff tonight. I mentioned 119 pitches a week ago, traveled across the country against an Oregon State offense that is incredibly tough, and he has found his way here in the middle part of the ball game. First 2 strikeouts on that fastball. Mentioned 12 of 13 strikeouts last week against Mississippi State on that slider. Last 4 tonight on that slider. He's starting to find his way.
Gavin Turley, the batter, and he takes outside. Turley was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, extending his streak. He's reached base in 55 consecutive games now.
Remarkable. Remarkable. 55 games in a row. A big reason it's laying off tough pitches like that.
On appeal, no, he didn't swing. 2-0 the count on Gavin Turley with 2 away. A run on 4 hits, an error for Oregon State. A run on 2 hits for Florida State. And a called strike to Turley.
Yeah, early on in this ball game, Jamie Arnold trying to get to the glove side, in on righties. And you see the adjustment here. Now you're moving through the lineup. It's the third time through. You're seeing a lot more backdoor sliders, fastballs away, mixing in that changeup.
Gold strike. Evens the count on Turley, 2-2.
That's what makes him so good, man. Changing those lanes. Doesn't have his best stuff early on in this ball game. Continuing to fight. Almost through 5, 1 run allowed.
And it just missed and punched over Arnold. You know he wanted that one.
Yeah, he sure did. That's a heck of a take, though. That ball is off the plate. Left-handed slider coming from that arm slot. Just missed the front edge. Good take.
Skied a mile high in the infield. Miles Bailey giving way to Drew Faroux taking charge, and the second baseman makes the catch. And that's now 8 in a row retired by Arnold. 1-1 to the bottom of the 5th. Tied at 1 as we go to the home 5th. Florida State, the home team in game 2. And a recap so far in the first inning. The 2-out RBI single, Wilson Weber. Putting Oregon State on top, driving in Iva Arquette. And then a 2-out RBI hit the other way from Max Williams, capitalizing on a Beavers error. And that's where we sit 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. 8-9-1 for Link Jarrett. Jackson West, Chase Williams, Gage Harrelson, the 2 skippers look on. Jackson West reached on the air and scored the run for Florida State in the 3rd.
And on a sharply hit ball over at third base, Caraway playing in, ate him up a bit. You mentioned 2-out hitting. That was the story yesterday for the Noles. 3 2-out RBIs, 2 2-out RBIs for Oregon State. Oftentimes, it's that big hit with 2 outs that ends up being the difference in the ballgame.
1-1 on Jackson West. Did not get into the game yesterday as Hunter Carnes was behind the plate, the freshman for Florida State. He had a good day. Hit the ball well, had a couple of hits yesterday, but now it's the more veteran player, West, behind the plate for game 2.
Yeah, and they have 2 very, very good catchers. Jackson West, the better defensive catcher of the 2. Hunter Carnes, more offensive threat. But Hunter, just the freshman, and one of the most prized recruits to ever touch campus at Florida State. He's going to be a special player, draft-eligible sophomore. And Jackson West, better against left-handed pitching. Probably a big reason he's in there today.
And it's really 3 catchers, although the 3rd catcher is banged up right now. As Nathan Schmela's played some good stuff behind the plate for Florida State this year.
Yeah, he sure has. And you can never have enough catching. Those guys get beat up a ton.
Schmela, the grad transfer from Dartmouth, Ivy League player, and West hits it on the ground to second. Routine for A.J. Singer, the short throw to first. 5 in a row retired by Kleinschmidt now. And that'll bring up Chase Williams, the left fielder.
Number 5, left fielder, Chase Williams.
So our game track. Ethan Kleinschmidt has struck out 9 in 4 1/3. And after dealing with traffic and a taxing first couple of innings, Jamie Arnold has settled in for the Seminoles.
Yeah, sure has. Jamie Arnold, slow start, got it going, minimized pitches last 3 innings, 12, 11, and 14. Kleinschmidt, fast start. Knowles making an adjustment, an extra out they're given. Reason the pitch count has been shot up, but man, he's continued to battle and he has not lost any of his sharp stuff.
1 catches the outside corner. And it's 0-2 as Florida State, one of 5 ACC teams in the NCAA tournament, ties the most in ACC conference history.
ACC's been great this year.
Guaranteed at least 1 team through, with Miami playing Louisville in the game 3 tomorrow. Duke's ahead in their Super Regional. North Carolina 1-1 with Arizona, game 3 in Chapel Hill tomorrow. And of course, Florida State here.
ACC, man, keeps getting better and better every year.
Duke taking game 1. 1-2 on Chase Williams. That has to make Jim Phillips very happy.
Yes.
The commissioner of the ACC.
Yes, it does. especially over there in the Southeast, man. It's SEC, 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 and the ACC's trying to flex their muscles.
Chopped to second base. A.J. Singer on a high bounce. Throws out the speedy Chase Williams. And there's 2 away. The NCAA Super Regional coverage continues tomorrow across ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN Plus. For more information, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Top of the order, here is Gage Harrelson, 0 for 2. 2 gone, home half of the 5th inning. And that one dropped in there by Ethan Kleinschmidt for strike 1. Pitch. 0-2, a good breaking ball.
Yeah, it is, and you see him changing speeds of that breaking ball. That's not a slider and a curveball, but you can tell he's got great feel tonight. He's able to drop off some miles per hour, flip in that early breaking ball, go to the harder slider.
Just lays off that breaking ball running away. And it's 1-2 on Harrelson.
Harrelson last at bat struck out on that slider. Very similar pitch to that one right there. Is a little bit of a backup slider up in the zone. Never came down and he missed. Tries to go back to it right there.
The pitch. Fouled back. As Harrelson fights it off.
And you see 94 still got it. 90 pitches into this ball game, has not dropped any velo. It's a great sign.
One and 2, Ethan Kleinschmidt, and it's high to Gage Harrelson. 2-2, and Kleinschmidt now up over 90 pitches for the evening.
Florida State battling.
The pitch, fouled back, fought off by Harrelson, doing what a leadoff batter does.
Yes, sir. He's a good player, man. Transfer from Texas Tech. Guy that played a ton as a freshman, believe a freshman All-American.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, didn't play a ton. What a response this year in the Seminoles uniform.
And it just missed from Kleinschmidt, and a full count on Harrelson.
And a great take, nice pitch. Gage Harrelson, though, elite plate discipline. It's a tough pitch to take right here with 2 strikes, but that's a ball.
Borderline pitch that goes Harrelson's way. Kleinschmidt the payoff. And it's ball 4, and Harrelson earns that 2-out walk and a base runner, and that'll bring up Alex Lodis.
And you see Kleinschmidt extremely frustrated right there, but you talk about it, fouling off those tough pitches. You got a guy on the mound who's in a groove. 90+ pitches, knows there's not a ton left in the tank, but you grind it out, you battle, and 2-out hitting. It's been the story for Florida State, extending the inning for this guy right here, Alex Lodis, one of the best players in the entire country. An opportunity to really make his moment here in the postseason.
Team leading 35th walk for Harrelson. Lodis walked in the 3rd, struck out in the 1st against Kleinschmidt, and that's fouled straight back.
That's a better hack right there from Lodis. Looks like he's getting moving early, trying to stay committed to that fastball. You see him talking to himself, stay through the ball, work your bat through, out toward the pitcher, stay through the ball as long as you can.
Chopped near second base. Singer flips. Iva Arquette at the bag. Signed retired, a runner left for Florida State. Middle 3rd of the order coming up for the Beavs. We go to the 6th in a 1-1 game. The starting pitchers of the story in this one were 1-1 to the 6th. And after fighting himself the first couple of innings, as you're watching the NCAA Super Regionals presented by Capital One, it was a struggle for Jamie Arnold the first couple of innings, but he settled in. He's retired 8 straight. And Ethan Kleinschmidt, 9 strikeouts, but already 96 pitches for the Oregon State lefty.
Yeah, and Jamie Arnold's done a fantastic job battling back. I never thought through 5 innings Jamie Arnold would have less pitches thrown than Kleinschmidt, but these are 2 fantastic lefties going at it tonight.
Wilson Weber, the RBI single, driving in the lone run for Oregon State back in the first. He's 1 for 2, followed by Trent Caraway and A.J. Singer in the Oregon State sixth.
Man, he is locked in at the plate right now.
And Weber, who split the catching duties last year for Oregon State. And you think about the success that Oregon State had at catcher last year between not just Wilson Weber, but the really embarrassment of riches, because they also had Tanner Smith, who's now the starting catcher for Miami. And a team that's going to a Game 3 in the Super Regional Louisville tomorrow. They split time behind the plate. And that one's punched the other way into right. And Weber has 2 hits and a leadoff base runner to open up the 6th for Oregon State.
Yeah, it's fair to say that both Miami and Oregon State are completely happy the way that it worked out for both guys. And he's just locked in at the plate right now, man. He goes to the changeup, out over the plate. Pitch before, and right there, fastball up and away, misses his spot, trying to go up and in. And just a nice simple swing. 2-strike hitting. Thing of beauty.
Weber aboard for Trent Caraway. Has walked and bounced into a fielder's choice. And Caraway takes a strike from Arnold. So Florida State went to Omaha last year. Oregon State won the regional here in Corvallis, beating UC Irvine in the regional final a year ago. Then went to the Super in Lexington, Kentucky, hosted by Kentucky. And Oregon State, the bats just went cold. They couldn't hit against the Wildcats. They were swept in those 2 games. And you were hoping to see Travis Pizzana get to the College World Series last year. Of course, Pizzana, the star here at Oregon State a year ago.
Man, he is some player. Playing well in the minor leagues, quick adjustment, little guy, ton of pop. Oregon State, they just put him out there, man. You think about Adley Rushman. I know that list can go on and on.
Stephen Kwan.
Man, hitter. I'll tell you what, they never had to face a slider like that, and tell you they're grateful for that. It's just nasty, 7th of the day.
7th strikeout for Arnold, a called strike to A.J. Singer, who is 0 for 2.
AJ, game-winning single in the 10th inning last night. 0 for 2 today.
1-1 on Singer. Trevor Larnach also in the big leagues, and a 2018 national championship team for Oregon State that had the likes of Nick Madrigal.
They produce them.
Singer in the air to center, fighting the sun. Hit right at Max Williams, who makes the catch. But you saw him, Devin, put the glove up to shade his eyes, looking right into the sun to catch the fly ball.
Yeah, it's sitting right up behind us. And he's got glasses on, but that glare can be incredibly tough. And once again, Jamie Arnold, it's been pretty consistent today. When he's missed arm side, he's gone back to the slider right off that lane. You could tell he was frustrated right there with his head over his hands over his head. You see Max battling that sun.
Tice Peterson in the air to right, playable. Gage Harrelson roaming over toward the alleyway. Leadoff single is stranded as Arnold then gets 1, 2, 3 after the hit. Heart of the order for Florida State as we go to the home 6th. Super Regional Sunday tomorrow. At least 6 games. Florida State hoping there will be a 7th tomorrow. And the if necessary game for us would be at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 Eastern on ESPN2, if Florida State wins to even this series. But game 3s in Louisville, Chapel Hill tomorrow, and then the slew of game 2s. Full day of college baseball.
Yes, sir. Best time of the year.
Max Williams fouls it out of play. An RBI single in the 3rd, driving in the run for Florida State earlier. And also you have tomorrow Red Sox Yankees Sunday Night Baseball.
Oh, sweet.
On ESPN.
That's awesome. Best rivalry in Major League Baseball.
Just missed to Max Williams. By the way, you see our friends in the front row? They're back.
The party is still on.
Double stack cans. Right near the Pac-12 logo behind the plate.
They slept here last night, but they cleaned up the damage and reset.
Those are our guys.
Fun guys.
Clearly. Those guys know to have a good time. Called strike 3 to Max Williams. 10 strikeouts for Ethan Kleinschmidt.
Yeah, and a lot of the strikeouts today coming on that slider, and that's just a fastball. Middle. Max Williams. Why does he take that? Well, he probably sells out to the breaking ball left on left, thinking it's coming. Ball shoots out 93, 94 miles per hour. It looks like 104 when you're sitting breaking ball. 10th strikeout of the day at 100 pitches.
His second double-digit strikeout performance of the season. Rolled to first, handled by Jacob Craig. And a 1 pitch out, and there's 2 gone. But 10 strikeouts for Kleinschmidt, who struck out 12 in a start at Oregon, April 27th.
Boy, oh boy, he's got it all going. Dax Whitney last night, fantastic outing. You knew you needed a big one. Dax just 4 2/3. Starter needed length, and boy, oh boy, is he giving it. He's got it all going, man. 6 strikeouts on that slider. Now 4 on the fastball. Super impressed, man, going against the best left-handed pitcher in all of college baseball, and he has matched him pitch for pitch.
Strike 1 to Cal Fisher, who didn't agree. He is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout, and now running conversation with the plate ump Brian Marine.
Man, just 6 pitches in this inning so far. 96 coming into it. Quick inning here. Maybe Kleinschmidt comes back. 114 pitches was his season high last week.
1-1 on Fisher. 4th time he has gone over the century mark in pitches. 8-3 on the year for Kleinschmidt. Chopped toward third, but gloved wide of the bag. Foul by Trent Caraway. And it's 1-2 on the Florida State third baseman. No balls in the air as far as outs.
Man, you want to know the recipe for slowing down a Florida State offense that hits a ton of homers, get a ton of ground balls, and don't let them put it in play. Fantastic.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 11 strikeouts for Ethan Kleinschmidt. Through 6. Tied 1-1 in game 2 in Corvallis. There's the pitches as far as innings go for Jamie Arnold tonight. Starting the 7th with 98. And the way the first 2 innings were going, Devin, I thought there was no chance we'd see Jamie Arnold into the 7th.
Man, oh man, and he's a guy that just didn't have his best stuff early on, but the really good ones, man, they find a way to get through those tough stretches. 50 pitches first 2 innings. How about 48 over the next 4? And when you think about what makes the great pitchers great, Jamie Arnold does not have his best stuff every weekend. He has a ton of starts every year. He's lucky if he has his best stuff 40% of his starts, to be honest, and that's probably high. But he battles and he finds a way to get through, and he's done a very, very nice job of that tonight.
Strike 1 to Cannon Reeder. 8-9-1 for Oregon State in the 7th. Reeder followed by Jacob Craig and then Easton Talt. Backs up Reeder. And as Arnold, you saw Kylie McDaniel, our Major League Baseball draft analyst, has Arnold as the #1 selection right now in the Major League Draft, coming up right around the All-Star game, which is going to be in Atlanta this year. The pitch. That one's chopped off the end of the bat, foul, and it's 1-2 on Reeder.
Yeah, and Jamie 1-1. I mean, there's a ton of good players in the country. Cade Anderson, great left-handed pitcher at LSU, fantastic stuff. And you think about all the great players. Ivor Arquette, potential to be the first college bat taken off the board. A ton of pressure comes with being the #1 projected pick.
Tied him up. And a breaking ball biting down and in. 8 strikeouts for Arnold. And there's 1 away in the 7th.
Yeah, just continuing to find his way. Slider, back foot, just absolutely disgusting. Changes lanes. These hitters, you want to push Arnold out over the plate. But man, he starts that slider right where you want the fastball, bites in at your back foot. Gives me freaking wild thoughts, man. Facing CC Sabathia, I think I'm like 2 for 27 with 14 strikeouts, and because of that right there.
I know he's shorter, but do you see Chris Sale when you watch Jamie Arnold pitch?
That's such a great call. I mean, I do, and I faced Chris Sale quite a bit. When he was in Boston playing in the AL East, and you know they have so many similarities. And you know the first thing that sticks out is when you face Chris Sale, you know he is going to throw you strikes. He's coming right at you. It's man against man. Let's see who's better. That's the first thing that sticks out. Then you add the arm slot, the crossfire, the fact that he's into the mid-90s. He can locate his slider. He's mixing in a changeup. Added the cutter, a pitch that Chris Sale's added now later in his career. So many similarities, and when you think about going 1-1, the Chris Sale comp's amazing.
Jamie Arnold 6'1". Sale's much taller. That's the difference when I look at them. But the comparison, just because of what you talked about, there's some similarities there.
Yeah, and you know, Jamie Arnold being shorter, you think about that induced vertical break, the lower arm slot. The ball shoots up a bit more. Both of them have differences, but that lower arm slot, Jamie Arnold's fastball plays up in the zone a little more than Sale.
Full count on Craig, who didn't like the 3-1 strike call. And it's full on the Oregon State first baseman. Arnold, and that's grounded left side and through. And Jacob Craig has 2 hits tonight. And a one-out base runner for Oregon State. And we go to the top of the order, and Talt now.
Man, 3-2 count, well-located slider. Up in the zone a bit, though, and Craig, man, swinging a hot bat. I'm loving that no stride, man. Simple movements, big, strong guy. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it. You're facing Jamie Arnold. Find a way on. He did.
And Craig has been a different hitter at the end of the season than he was. He was fighting himself for a lot of this season.
Yeah, he sure has. And you know, we talked to head coach Mitch Canham about that no stride and the adjustments that he's made. And he just said he's a big, strong guy, and he doesn't need a ton of movement. He's not a guy that needs to create power. He's naturally strong. Just get the barrel to the baseball, and you know, I absolutely love that. You think about some of the best hitters in the game of baseball, and Bo Bichette comes to mind, Shohei Ohtani, and you go to Miguel Cabrera back when he was playing. They go to that no stride because they just want to get the barrel to the baseball, and it's working out for him.
Mike Capozzi, the pitching coach for Florida State, and a mound visit. As you look into the bullpen right there, and Mason Martinez getting loose for Florida State.
And Mason from South Florida, big on, fastball into the mid-90s, used sporadically throughout the year. But you need a guy to kind of mysteriously pop up out of the bullpen and be a guy for you. I'm looking for Mason to do that.
Ball 1 to Talt, who has struck out 3 times tonight against Jamie Arnold. In fact, Talt is just 2 for his last 16.
And 3 times on that slider. You see a first pitch slider there. Will he sell out to it?
Way inside, and turning out of the way is Talt of ball 2.
Man, I know it's hard to hang in there, but you got Jamie Arnold on the mound, lefty. That ball comes anywhere near me. Please hit me.
Especially if you have that pad on your elbow.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You're trying to make sure it hits the pad. But
easier said than done when it's 95.
Look, let's face it. Most of the time, it finds a spot where you don't have padding. Called strike to Talt evens the count.
Once again, like you see, like what's special about Jamie Arnold is it's the misses that set up his success. He misses, almost hits him with that fastball. What's it do? It sets up that slider right off that same lane.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Easton Talt for the 4th time.
And it's just nasty. And you think about what makes him so special. Sure, slider down and away. Okay, I've struck him out with it 3 times. Fastball in. Okay, I set my lane. I used the lane. Fastball, slider, miss. Slider, take, right down the heater. And then back to the slider again. And you know, that's what makes these guys so special. And he works so hard with pitching coach Mike Capozzi, probably on things like that. And you know, you think about waste pitches and guys missing. Those misses, when you have the ability to flip the script and use those misses to now turn it to your advantage, it's a special thing. Jamie Arnold's got it.
9 strikeouts for Arnold. 2 outs, the runner at first. Arnold at 113 pitches. Jackson West, the catcher, out to the mound, with the dangerous Ivar Arquette due up.
And you think about the 3rd time through the order. Huge advantage for Ivar Arquette. This would be his 4th at bat against Jamie Arnold. He's looked very comfortable today. Just 1 hit. Jamie Arnold's battled his tail off today, and Micah Posey's headed out.
This overflow crowd making some noise. And did you see some of the ticket prices on the secondary market for this?
$600.
They were going into the high 3 figures.
Wow. Wow. Now, this atmosphere is electric, man. I've never been to the state of Oregon, obviously never been here. I've heard great things about it. This is one of the best fan bases and atmospheres in the entire country.
And those are people that were just willing to sell their tickets.
Yeah.
Florida State going to the bullpen. Jamie Arnold is done. After 6 2/3, 9 strikeouts, allows 1 run, leaves a runner at first. And out of the bullpen for the Florida State Seminoles, here comes Mason Martinez, trying to keep this a 1-1 game.
Man, I tell you, Florida State fans, 1-1 ball game, winner go home game. This is your last game seeing Jamie Arnold leave the field. Enjoy it. Hell of a career.
Well, Jamie Arnold, a phenomenal performance here in game 2 for Florida State. 113 pitches, struck out 9. Battled himself in those first couple of innings, but then turned into the Jamie Arnold we're used to seeing.
Man, oh man, I've followed this baseball program for a long time now, and I played here 15 years ago. And I got to say, I don't know if I've seen a lefty dominate college baseball like I've been able to see him dominate. Hell of a job.
Mason Martinez snaps the breaking ball off, and swing and a miss by Ivar Arquette, strike 1. Mason Martinez inherits the runner at first. The junior from Lake Worth down in South Florida, 0-2 and a 5.63 ERA.
And a big fastball into the mid-90s. Slider, second pitch, curveball, and a changeup.
Fouled off by Arquette.
I mentioned those sliders. Arquette, 8 home runs on the season, tied for the Division I lead. 6 of those sliders for home runs came off right-handed pitching. He's better against right-handed pitching. Big at bat here. Don't hate the move though. 4th time around seeing Jamie Arnold, 1st round pick, and Ivar Arquette. Little matchup play.
2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Martinez gets him. And the nasty breaking ball, and Arquette strikes out on 3 pitches, and Martinez wiggles out of it. We're stretching in Corvallis in a 1-1 game. Football coach Trent Bray's dialed into the game track. He's ready for this one. He's here all the time. He is a huge Oregon State baseball fan. And it's 1-1 as we go to the 7th. The last of the 7th, and Florida State will have 6, 7, and 8 due up. Oregon State getting a run in the 1st on an RBI single from Wilson Weber. Florida State an unearned run. Max Williams an RBI single, driving in Jackson West, who reached on an error. Ethan Kleinschmidt still working for Oregon State. He has struck out 11. And it's ball 1 to Drew Faroux, who doubled back in the 2nd inning. He is 1 for 2.
He doubled on a fastball to right center, up and away. Last at bat, sliders underneath his hand. Hands got him for a strikeout.
Pitch 107 for Kleinschmidt is a strike to Faroux.
See that velo ticking down a bit. Sat 93, 94 all night long. But the importance is location now. Still dotting that fastball on the inner black.
Backs up Drew Faroux. It's 2-1. And it's a tough arm slot to pick up the baseball from Kleinschmidt. He's right over the top.
Yeah, he kind of hides it for a long time, and you never see the baseball until the last second. It just explodes out of his hand.
Skips that one in there. It's 3-1. Another tight ball game after the drama we had in game 1 yesterday. 1-1, bottom 7. And Faurot draws the walk. It's ball 4 and a leadoff base runner for the Seminoles.
And a good shot there, but a great take. Drew Faurot, just the second time all game Florida State has had the leadoff man reach base, first time since the 3rd inning.
They have not had a hit since the 3rd. Is Rich Dorman, the pitching coach for Oregon State, heading out to the mound. And you wonder if that's it for Kleinschmidt, who's at 110 pitches.
Looks like it is.
Terrific effort by Ethan Kleinschmidt, Devin, to match Jamie Arnold.
Boy, pitch for pitch. Absolutely fantastic. 11 strikeouts today. Attaboy, Kleinschmidt.
The new pitcher for Oregon State is the big righty, Leif Palmer, coming in. But an ovation for Kleinschmidt heading to the dugout by this record crowd at Goff Stadium at Coleman Field. Destination Omaha. You know the song. Omaha, somewhere in middle America.
That's right.
The other half of the bracket of the Super Regionals. Coastal Carolina, the only ticket punched so far into the College World Series, and Ethan Kleinschmidt, outstanding for the Beavers tonight.
How about that? Holding them to just 2 hits. Ton of ground balls today to go with 11 strikeouts. Man, he was as good as advertised, matching Jamie Arnold pitch for pitch throughout this night.
The new pitcher for the Beavers, the 6'6" righty, the sophomore from Golden, Colorado, Leif Palmer, who has had some control problems this year. A 2-0 and a 2.17 ERA. And a pinch hitter here with the runner at first and nobody out in the bottom of the 7th for Florida State as they send up James Hankerson Jr., who was the starting DH yesterday.
And Leif's a guy with just great stuff, mainly a 2-pitch mix, fastball into the mid-90s slider.
Moves to first.
He's better against left-handed hitters, about .098. And he's no slouch against righties either, .212 on the season.
Drew Faurot, the runner at first, as Palmer just misses with ball 1. Hankerson 2 for 6 as a pinch hitter this year. Batting in the DH spot for Brody Delamelier.
It's the matchup play that Link's done throughout the season. Righty on the mound, Hankerson hitting.
And that's inside 2-0 on Hankerson. A .267 hitter with 2 home runs. 45 at-bats this year.
And just a freshman.
Faurot being held at first. Palmer the 2-0. And that's bounced to third, near the bag. Trent Carraway goes to second. A.J. Singer's turn not nearly in time. As Hankerson beats the throw, it wasn't hit sharp enough to get 2, but Oregon State forces the lead runner at second.
Yeah, that's the big key there. You want to make sure you get that runner out in the front there, and you see that little bit of communication going on right there. Lefty at the plate, you got him in the shift. I think Ivar Arquette right away was thinking he was going to have bad coverage there at second base. And
slide rule at second base. The previous play is under review.
So it's under review with the runner Faurot going to second. And Oregon State challenging the play at second base about not sliding there from Drew Faurot.
Yeah, you got to slide into second base. Can't stand up. You mess with the throw on the turn.
Let's take another look at what they are reviewing. Okay, there's the force. And Faurot sliding in.
Straight to the bag. You have to stay straight to the bag. Does he? Yes, he does.
The only thing I can think of from Oregon State's perspective, when Faurot was popping up,
The pop-up
did
slide,
he make contact with A.J. Singer turning it at second base? As we break in our rules expert, Jeff Hendricks, back in the studio. And Jeff, what do you see on this play?
Guys, I have him sliding directly into the bag, and when you do slide directly into the bag, you can pop up. So I have this as a legal slide.
Longtime college umpire. I've seen Jeff Hendricks over the years a number of times working ball games, and so Jeff's feeling, and I agree with Jeff's assessment. I don't see anything here that would change the call on the field.
100%. Yeah, Jeff says you have to slide into the bag. If you do, you can pop up. Looks clean to me.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner's out. There is no forced play slide rule. Oregon State is charged with one challenge with one remaining.
So you're given 2 challenges. Oregon State using their first. And the call is confirmed by the replay operations center as our first base umpire, Darren Heima, who has the mic, alerting everybody. And so Mitch Canham down to 1 challenge remaining with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. And now Hankerson, the runner at first, and Jackson West, who has scored the lone run for Florida State, reaching on an error and came around back in the 3rd. He is 0 for 2, and he takes a fastball outside.
You see that running action when it's up in the zone, runs a bit, down in the zone, a little bit more sinking action. And that was a big out right there. 2-0 count, Hankerson at the dish. Got a ground ball. Palmer, a guy who gets a ton of ground balls.
Ball's behind again. It's 2-0 now to Jackson West. And Florida State still does not have an out in the air.
Oregon State, they've just done such a fantastic job living down in the zone. They know they're facing an offense, 100 home runs. Plus on the season, you got to work down on these guys, shoot for ground balls. They've done it.
Showing bunt, and it's a strike. As a throw to first by Weber, and back to the bag is James Hankerson Jr. But that was almost West just letting, I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any intention to bunt.
No, I agree. And then a quick snap throw from Weber right there. On a bunt that is missed or taken, catchers are looking to backdoor the runner.
The 2-1. Out toward left center. That's a hit for West. Hankerson will stop at second base. Quickly getting to it is Cannon Reeder, and the Seminoles have something going. 2 on, 1 out.
Number 5, outfielder Chase Williams.
Yeah, good on Jackson West right there. That's a tough pitch. Fastball. Up and in, but a short swing drives it into the left center field. And good base running as well by Hankerson. He's thinking right off the bat, I'm getting to third base. Reeder out in center field, gets it in quickly. Knowles an opportunity here with Chase Williams.
Chase Williams 0 for 2 tonight. He is 0 for 5 so far in the Super Regional. Strike 1 from Palmer.
They've attacked him with a lot of fastballs up in the zone. 9 strikeouts in his last 12 at-bats here in the postseason.
And that was a challenge fastball.
Yes, it was.
Hankerson at second, West at first. The pitch. Jammed, and he loops it foul, and Palmer jumps ahead 0-2 after falling behind each of the first 2 hitters that he faced.
That's exactly what you want out of your big boy on the mound. 6'6", working down the hill. 387 for Chase Williams with runners in scoring position. Knowles need him now more than ever.
Fought it off, came in on the hands of Williams again. And the count holds 0-2.
Yeah, you can tell Williams is working incredibly hard to be on top of the baseball. Palmer up in the zone with that fastball. A lot of carry and ride on it.
James Hankerson Jr. at second. Jackson West at first. And Williams out toward right center. Hustling over is Reeder. And he reaches down and makes the catch over toward the alleyway. Great break on it by Cannon Reeder. And that sinking liner off the bat of Chase Williams, who hit it well.
An absolute rocket. Look at the area he covers right here off the bat. Looks like it's down, no doubt about it. And Reeder, he can just cover some ground, man. He made a play in the regionals, coming in diving. One of the more impressive plays I've seen in a long time out of an outfielder on a sinking ball. And that one right there as well. Big time play.
And now Gage Harrelson, top of the order for the Seminoles. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. 2 on, 2 out in a 1-1 game. Line the other way, slicing. And it's foul over toward that party area down the left field corner.
In Florida State, you can tell there's been some talk in the dugout. Fastballs up in the zone. They've really been some big trouble here in this series, trying to work hard on top of that ball. Looked like a little cutter there from Palmer running underneath his hands at 88 miles an hour.
One strike pitch. And that's low from Palmer. As Harrelson on the year, a 332 hitter overall. But 377 with runners in scoring position. Yeah. 2 on, 2 out. Palmer, the pitch. And that's high to Harrelson. It's 2-1.
See that 377 with runners in scoring position. Harrelson, just the guy that's come up with a ton of big hits throughout the season. Shrinks the strike zone in these bigger moments. Tries to put the barrel to the ball.
Here it comes. And he missed with the breaking ball down and in. Tried that back foot slider, and it's 3-1.
And a good take right there. A big pitch, 2-1. Puts himself in the driver's seat here.
And this is an enormous pitch considering 1-1 game, bottom of the 7th, and Lodice is on deck for Florida State.
Yes, it is.
Fouled by Harrelson, and it's full now. So with 2 outs, Hankerson at second, West at first, they'll be going on the pitch.
Yes, they will, and it tells you about the guy on deck. 3-1 count, fastball challenge right at him.
Line drive, base hit for Gage Harrelson. Around third, Hankerson coming home. Sliding into third ahead of the throw, Jackson West, and Florida State takes the lead. Gage Harrelson, the clutch, 2-out RBI single.
You better believe it. That guy can flat out play. 3-2 count, Lodice on deck. They challenge him, back-to-back fastballs. Fouls off one. He does not miss that one, boy. That's a sweet swing right there. Driving it into left center field. More 2-out hitting for these Noles. It's been the story in this series. Gage Harrelson, biggest hit of this series so far for the Noles.
And it gives Florida State the lead. Jackson West pounding the third base bag with excitement after Gage Harrelson delivers the clutch RBI hit. And a 2-1 lead. Florida State has just 4 hits. As Rich Dorman emerging again for Oregon State, their pitching coach from the third base dugout.
Yeah, just 4 hits, but they made them matter. And Max Williams early on in the ball game continuing that 2-out hitting, clutch hitting, big moment. How about Harrelson delivering for the Noles?
Mound conference with Leif Palmer. Took over for Ethan Kleinschmidt here in the bottom of the 7th. Couple of right-handers up in the bullpen for Oregon State, and they will go to the bullpen here. As Palmer gives up the run, and Florida State takes the lead, trying to keep their season going. They have to win tonight to force a Game 3 tomorrow. Wyatt Queen coming out of the bullpen for Oregon State. As the right-hander will try to keep this a 2-1 ball game, but Florida State coming through against Palmer and taking the lead. 2-1 Noles still batting last of the 7th. A look at the bracket of the Super Regionals. This is our half of it. And The winner of the Corvallis Super Regional will play the winner of the Louisville Super, which goes to a Game 3 tomorrow, noon Eastern, between Miami and Louisville. Coastal Carolina sweeping their Super Regional in the Plains against Auburn. And here Oregon State with a 1-zip lead in the series, but the Seminoles have taken a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. On the RBI single from Gage Harrelson, driving in James Hankerson Jr., Wyatt Queen, the new pitcher, and the sophomore righty on the hill for the Beavers.
Yeah, and it's swing and miss stuff, and you see it right on the board. 55 strikeouts in 44 1/3 innings pitched. Had a great outing against USC in that first elimination game for Oregon State. 4.1 innings, just 1 run allowed, and coming in here for the big moment.
That was against the Trojans last weekend. He's made 5 starts this year, has primarily been a starter in the second half of the year after working out of the bullpen early for Oregon State. Runners at the corners, 2 down for Alex Lodis. 0 for 2 with a walk. Queen a move to first. Diving back is Harrelson.
And some good stuff here. Fastball, slider, curveball, 37% swing and miss overall, 46% swing and miss on that slider. His best pitch, more off speed than fastballs from Queen.
Off the end of the bat, foul by Lodis.
You see that good slider right out of the gate.
Move to first again by Queen. Close play. Diving back, though, is Harrelson.
Quick feet.
Shadows starting to take effect as the sun's setting behind us here in Corvallis now. As the 1-strike pitch, and Lodis taps it foul at the plate. 0-2 on the Florida State shortstop.
And back-to-back best pitches right out of the gate. Mentioned more off speed than fastballs. Got him down 0-2 here. You know, Lodis is thinking breaking ball in the back of his mind. Good time here for Wyatt Queen. Climbed the ladder with that fastball. Breaking ball in the zone down below.
Transfer from Everett Community College. Queen, a 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, got him chasing. And the strikeout of Lodis, but Florida State takes the lead. Gage Harrelson comes through with 2 outs, and the Noles take a lead to the 8th inning.
Clutch hit after clutch hit after clutch hit all year long for Gage Harrelson, leadoff man, unsung hero of this Florida State Seminole club's got him up 2-1 late.
(2-1) Florida State. As you're watching the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. And that right now is the hero for the Seminoles. Gage Harrelson, the RBI single, giving them the lead as we go to the 8th. And it's the heart of the order for the Beavers. Gavin Turley, Wilson Weber, Trent Caraway against Mason Martinez, who came in and struck out Iva Arquette in the 7th.
Yeah, Mason Martinez in this ballgame got a big strikeout in the last threat. Sat on that bench for a long time. Can he come in and attack? Sure does.
Turley 0 for 2, hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Keep in mind, Florida State had the lead to the bottom of the 9th yesterday. They lead it here in the 8th. One-strike pitch, and it's a bit high to Turley, and it's 1-1. The Florida State bullpen, it's in their hands now. The season hanging in the balance for Florida State, who has to win this game tonight to force a game tomorrow.
Yes, they do, and they were fantastic heading into yesterday's game and just faltered. Credit Oregon State. They're going to keep coming, down 3 runs late in the ball game last night. Scratched and clawed their way back, down just 1 run here in the 8th. You know, Florida State, they have not forgotten.
They were tremendous last weekend in Tallahassee. Turley lays off, appeal no swing. And last night in the game, after taking over for Joey Vellini, who was outstanding, the starter for Florida State yesterday. Gave up just 1 run, 8 strikeouts, no walks, and 6 2/3. Joe Charles was cruising along until the bottom of the 9th. The 3-1. And Turley draws a leadoff walk, and the Beavers have a start here in the 8th.
Just a nice patient at bat there from Gavin Turley. Playing off a couple pitches up in the zone. Leadoff walks. Oftentimes come back to bite you.
Now a mound visit for the catcher, Jackson West. Also Cal Fisher coming in from third. Turley at first, reaching for the second time. And Wilson Weber has been locked in at the plate. 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI. The cleanup batter for Oregon State.
Yeah, he sure has. Using the entire field. Base hit to left today, base hit to right today. Moving incredibly slow. It's always a good sign for a hitter, man, when you can spray the ball all over the field. He's a veteran, senior, been in this program for a while. Leader of this ball club. Come up with big hits in both games so far.
So after the visit on the hill, back behind the plate goes West. Weber has been great this entire postseason for Oregon State. Turley the runner at first, and now after the trip by the catcher West, here comes a deliberate walk from Micah Posey, the pitching coach, with activity in the Seminoles bullpen.
Yeah, you mentioned Mason Martinez is a guy with really good stuff, power stuff. But the walks in command have been a concern. Leadoff walk there, hadn't really been able to find the strike zone throughout that at bat. Slow him down here a little bit. You got Prescott down in the pen, warming up. You got the lefty and Holtz getting going.
Now the plate umpire, Brian Marine, to break up the mound conference. It's also allowing the Oregon State fans to get revved up again.
Yes, it is. This crowd, man, they don't let up.
Goss Stadium at Coleman Field record, 4,408. And the football coach, Trent Bray, getting into the act there with the OSU.
Yes, he is.
And Florida State will make a change here with a runner at first and nobody out. Summon for Florida State. Peyton Prescott coming in. And a big spot out of the bullpen for the Seminoles. 2-1. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. I feel like I should see that emu right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The moon glowing above Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Our game track as Florida State broke the 1-1 tie on the RBI single from Gage Harrelson at the bottom of the 7th, and leading Oregon State 2-1 as both starters were sensational tonight. Ethan Kleinschmidt for the Beavers, Jamie Arnold for Florida State, as Peyton Prescott out of the bullpen for the Seminoles.
Yeah, get ready for some power stuff here. Fastball. Touched 99 multiple times last week. It's live, up in the zone, ton of swing and miss, slider, curveball, changeup. It's that big fastball, though, that's the most important pitch for Peyton Prescott when he's able to establish that fastball. The breaking stuff does not have to be great or as sharp, but he must be able to establish that fastball early.
The sophomore transfer from Jacksonville. And the pitch is low and away, ball 1 to Wilson Weber. 6-foot right-hander. Last year on the ASUN all-freshman team with Jacksonville. And a power arm out of the bullpen for Link Jarrett. Gavin Turley at first, the 1-0. Fooled him. And a feeble swing by Wilson Weber.
Man, oh man, nasty. You know, Wilson Weber at the plate, swinging a hot bat, thinks he's in a 1-0 count, ready to attack that big fastball. You know it's in the back of their mind. Drops in a dime.
Fastball for a strike. And that one lit up the radar gun. 99 from Prescott. You think he's amped up?
Boy, oh boy, you better believe it. This is a big-time arm out of this Florida State pen. Bright future for this young man, and a 1-2 count here.
The pitch. And the fastball low and away. And Prescott hitting triple digits.
There it is. You asked if he was amped up. Yes, sir.
100. Plus, he's well rested. His first outing since last Friday against Bethune-Cookman. And fouled straight back by Wilson Weber. As Prescott against Bethune-Cookman, the opening game of that Tallahassee Regional for Florida State. He got the win, went 2 2/3 scoreless with 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, and it was big. Out of that long weather break, Florida State bullpen bridged 6 scoreless innings altogether.
Fought it off. And that was a slider that was up from Prescott.
And that's the importance of him being able to establish that fastball. If he can't establish the fastball, the hitters throw the fastball out of their mind. They start looking for these breaking balls. But he's established that fastball, a little bit of a backup breaking ball. Nice job fouling it off by Weber.
Turley at first. The 2-2. Swing and a pop-up out of play by Weber.
Got away with another one right there.
Nail chewing time here in Corvallis.
Oh, yeah.
Prescott. Again, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, chase to high fastball. Up and out of the zone at 98.
And there is that big fastball. 200s throughout this at-bat, finishes them off with 98, but let's take a peek at this sequence here. So back-to-back breaking balls, taking advantage right there in the 1-0 count of him being aggressive, but he establishes the fastball there, misses down and away. Back a challenge again. Okay, you establish your fastball, you can get away with throwing bad sliders. You throw 100 miles per hour, don't forget that challenge. He does and wins a great battle.
Backing away is Caraway from a fastball up and in. Mind if I buzz the tower? Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
I hear you.
98 for some chin music.
I hear you, Rocks.
0 for 2 tonight. Caraway with a walk. Gavin Turley at first. The pitch. Reaching for it, and the slider fouled away.
Better location on that slider right there. Big rule in baseball. You do not want to get beat late to the pull side. So if you are going to throw a breaking ball, it must be on the outer half of the plate. Leave it on the inner half of the plate. That's where it gets turned around quickly to the pull side. Better location there from Prescott.
Now an offensive meeting for Ryan Gibson, who runs the offense for Mitch Canham. 1 out, top of the 8th inning, a runner at first. And interesting, Devin, that now with a 1-1 count, they call the offensive conference. What do you think they're talking about?
Well, first and foremost, Prescott looks like he's getting in a rhythm. So I think the most important thing that they're doing here is breaking Prescott's rhythm. And in the second off, maybe a little bit of a scouting report. Hey, maybe they had a game plan to sit slider, and he has thrown the fastball. I mean, you just never know. I think the biggest thing is they're breaking rhythms. And I tell you, man, offensive timeouts in baseball, it's something incredibly new to me, not something I've really ever seen until recently, but it does break the pitcher's rhythm. See if Prescott can bounce back.
Trent Caraway climbs back in. And he takes it high from Prescott. 97.
And I tell you what, Rox, it looks like that offensive timeout too could have been a little bit with the guy at first base trying to get a jump. In Gavin Turley, it looks like he's timing it up. He's trying to do that vault steal. He's got a short lead, and if he can get that secondary hop at the right time, he'll keep running.
Inside to Caraway, who chucks the bat away thinking it was ball 4. It's 3-1.
The offensive timeout threw everybody off.
He'll hear about that one later.
Oh yeah, he'll be in the box. That's a fine.
The pitch, Grounded to second, could be two. Furrow flips, Alex Ortiz, two double play. Tailor-made for Peyton Prescott. And the Seminoles get out of it, and Prescott's jacked.
That's what I like to see out of a guy coming out of the bullpen. You're 97 to 100. Challenge with the fastball. Hitting's incredibly hard. It's even hard in BP. Fastball right down the chute. How about a 4-6-3 double play? Peyton Prescott fired up. You better believe it, Knowles.
Florida State. The Noles, the home team in game 2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Heart of the order for Florida State. Max Williams, Miles Bailey, Cal Fisher against Wyatt Queen. As Williams an RBI single in the 3rd, he is 1 for 3. 2 runs on just 4 hits for Florida State. A run, 6 hits, an error for the Beavers as it's fouled away by Williams. Beavers have stranded 7, Florida State 6.
And it's been a great ball game. 2 great teams going at it. Evenly matched. But it's going to come down to that timely hit. So far, Florida State, 1 more, 1 run's the difference.
I feel like we've been here before.
Oh yeah, feels pretty similar.
Late in the ball game, it's tight. 2 teams, again, we talk about it, and they're so evenly matched, and they've played that way.
Yes, they have.
Called strike from Queen, evens the count. By the way, our friends behind the plate, they're being responsible now. As we're getting later into the evening, you'd think they'd ramp it up, but they're pounding the H2O down there now.
Okay.
Look at the water bottles.
Okay, I respect it.
Just missed from Queen. That's taking responsibility. But I also saw it looked like there was a bag for recyclables.
Okay.
So they're being conscious as well, environmentally conscious, fouled off by Williams.
And maybe drinking a little H2O, saving up a little juice for a potential game 3 tomorrow. You never know.
Florida State had a 3-run lead to the bottom of the 9th before Oregon State rallied yesterday to tie it at 4 and then won it in 10. That one turned around a bullet. Max Williams with a liner back into center. Leadoff hit for the Seminoles to open up the bottom of the 8th as Florida State looking for some insurance.
Yes, they sure are. And you want to know if Max Williams can turn around a big-time fastball. Well, you got your answer here with 2 strikes as well, just short, up in the zone. How about it? And fired up. Knows the importance. Florida State needs insurance.
Here's Miles Bailey, 0 for 3. Strikeout and a couple of groundouts for the cleanup batter and the Noles first baseman.
What an opportunity here. Put a little touch on this ball game for Miles Bailey.
As Queen snaps that one in there for strike 1. Max Williams a short lead. The 1-strike pitch. And that's outside from Wyatt Queen.
Little snap throw there from Weber behind the dish.
He's done that a few times tonight.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. I really enjoy watching him work behind the plate.
The 1-1. Another curve, another strike to Bailey. It's 1 and 2.
And a well-located one as well on the outer half of the plate. More off speed than fastballs from Queen. So the breaking balls are what set up the ability to climb the ladder late with the fastball. Pitchers have 2 options. They establish the fastball to go to the breaking ball, or they establish the breaking ball to go to the heater.
Swing and a miss, got him. That one just disappeared for Wyatt Queen. 1 out.
And how about a straight downer? 3 in a row right there, perfectly dropped in great location. Miles Bailey is swinging a hot bat. To see him take a swing like this, that tells you what kind of breaking ball that is from Queen.
1 out, Max Williams at first base. Cal Fisher steps in. 0 for 3, Fisher has struck out twice. The pitch. Fouled back, out of play.
You got a good one to hit right there, up in the zone. Fisher just missed it.
Oh and 1 on Cal Fisher. Here comes. Good backhand stab by Wilson Weber. As missing well low and away is Queen. 1-1 the count.
That's a tough pitch to get to right there. That's an incredible job keeping the double play in order.
And Fisher trying to extend his on-base streak. He is 0 for 3 tonight. He has reached base in 23 in a row. Moved to first by Queen, and diving back, Max Williams.
The numbers don't pop off the scoreboard for Fisher. Hitting .308, having a nice season. He just has the look of a player that just belongs, and he's a winner.
Just a steady, consistent presence for Florida State.
Yeah, winner, no doubt about it. That's who you want on your team.
Up high from Wyatt Queen.
Florida State in the 2-1 count here late in the ball game, looking for insurance. Cal Fisher, 2 strikeouts on the day. It's a good opportunity for a hit and run here. Link decides to get aggressive.
The pitch. Chased a high fastball. Two balls, 2 strikes on Cal Fisher. The sophomore Queen. Here it comes. Popped him up. This one out of play behind third.
A lot of fly balls today. You mentioned the sun earlier, but when that sun goes down and you get to dusk, the lights start to come on. Not incredibly high lights here. A lot of communication on balls in the air. Lose the ball incredibly quickly. You see that right there, man. The ball just blends in with the sky this time of night.
Just missed to Fisher. That was like the sky up above Sunken Diamond a couple of years ago in Game 3 of a Super when Texas couldn't find it and Stanford won the game because of it and went to Omaha.
Oh my God, I remember that. That was insane.
Full count on Fisher. Williams the runner at first. He runs. Fisher, line drive to left toward the line. That's a hit. Around second, Max Williams chugging to third. He'll get there, a wide turn. Back to first is Fisher, and Florida State threatening. Runners at the corners with 1 down.
I'm telling you, he's just a gamer, man. He just is a guy that does everything right. An incredible at bat right here. And a slider hanging out over the plate, and Fisher out of the box. You know he's thinking, gotta get to second, I gotta get to second, but a great job by Turley out in left. And you see Iva out at shortstop saying, the ball's gotta go to second, the ball's gotta go to second. You know Max is getting to third easy, being off on the pitch. And a little bit of a funky slide there.
If he's not running on the pitch, Devin, he doesn't get to third base there.
That is a great point, and I love that from Link. You know, late in the ball game, aggression, you can do that when you're up 2-1. If this is a 2-1 ball game the other way, you're probably not starting the runner. Cal Fisher hits a smoking hot shot. Line drive, double play, you're out of this inning. But when you are ahead, you can be aggressive, you can force the issue. And I love that call by Link Jarrett Knowles. It's an opportunity for that insurance we spoke on.
That's the Tomahawk champ, 3,000 miles away from Tallahassee right now.
It's one of the best fan bases in the country.
Small contingent because it's not easy to get to Corvallis from Tallahassee, but they are representing.
Always, man, always. It's a special group of fans. It's an incredibly loud environment in Dick Howser Stadium. It's one of the best, if not the best, college environment in all of college baseball. Florida State's used to the noise, but a big opportunity to quiet the crowd on the road here.
Drew Farreau takes ball one. And this environment has been amazing.
This is incredible, man. This is incredible. Everybody, never been to Oregon State, get on out here, man. This is a special place.
The 1-0 to Farreau. That's a strike at the knees. Farreau doubled back in the second. He walked in the seventh. And he's batting left-handed for the first time tonight. He is 1 for 2.
And this is his strength from the left-hand side. You see the defense here. Middle is playing back for the double play. Third baseman is in. Third base, Max Williams. He's going on all down contact.
Big swing and a miss by Farreau. Over the top of the curve, and it's 1-2 on the Seminoles. Second baseman.
Man, you think about momentum in a baseball game. First and third, 1 out. All the momentum with the Noles right now. 3 outs left on offense for the Beavers. Being able to work out of this inning, momentum's a real thing in the game of baseball. Big opportunity for the Noles, though. Keep it on their side.
The pitch. Got him. Went with the curve, and that's huge for Oregon State. Now there's 2 outs with runners at the corners.
Just absolutely filthy. I mean, you know, he's hunting the ball up in the zone here. It starts up in the zone, but the best breaking ball of the night at the best time of the night for the Beavers. And a big strikeout, 1 out away from having this crowd light things up here in Corvallis. An opportunity for Hankerson to now get that big 2-out RBI. 2 2-out RBIs today for the Noles so far.
He scored the go-ahead run in the 7th. Came up as a pinch hitter, and it called strike to Hankerson, who reached on a fielder's choice.
Once again, a lot of breaking balls today for Queen. Florida State, do they sell out to the breaking ball? The fastball, it has not been in the zone in quite some time. He's got swings and misses up and out of the zone. Do they start to look for it?
That was buried, and a good block by Wilson Weber.
Fantastic.
One and one on James Hankerson Jr. Queen delivers, and a mighty cut at a pitch, down and in. Looked like it may have bounced in the left-handed batter's box, and Weber kept it in front.
Man, he's fantastic back there.
What a luxury for this pitching staff to have somebody like Weber behind the plate.
Big time, big time. It's so huge, especially with a guy on third base.
1-2. Queen, the pitch. Runner goes from first, slows down trying to draw a throw, and Oregon State allows Cal Fisher to get to second.
And Oregon State had no plans on throwing that baseball to second base, not allowing Florida State to steal a run.
Now second and third with 2 down, and a 2-2 count. Stolen base for Fisher. The pitch, low from Queen, and it's full.
Great take there.
The overshift on. Singer, the second baseman's in shallow right. Iva Arquette, the shortstop, almost right behind the bag at second. Swinging a ball, tapped foul over toward the Seminoles dugout. Six, 7, and 8 for Oregon State, by the way, in the ninth. Wyatt Queen. Curveball, high ball 4. They're loaded for Florida State.
Incredible at bat. Absolutely incredible. Queen back to that breaking ball. Ball starts up and stays up. Hankerson wins that battle. Big time.
Jackson West, the 8-hitter for Florida State, with the bases full and 2 down. Max Williams at third. Cal Fisher at second. James Hankerson Jr. aboard. And here comes Rich Dorman, the Oregon State pitching coach, out of the dugout. Jackson West due to bat, a left-handed hitter. We'll see what Rich Dorman elects to do.
And Jackson single off a right-handed pitcher last at bat, but he is better against left-handed pitching.
Two-1 Florida State, and the Seminoles threatening with the bases full and 2 down. And Rich Dorman having that running dialogue with Wyatt Queen.
Trying to get as long as he can with his guys, settle things down.
And they'll stick with them. And Queen will face West, who was 0 for 7 with the bases loaded this season.
Man, oh man, no better time for Jackson West. Some really good at-bats today. Sharply hit ball to third base. Got by Caraway, and then a single left center field gap. Last at bat in the 2-1 count.
1 for 3 with a run for Jackson West. Wyatt Queen delivers. And it's just off the outside, ball 1. West singled in his last at bat. That came against Leif Palmer in the 7th. Max Williams at third, Cal Fisher at second. James Hankerson Jr. at first. The 1-0. Ball 2 from Queen.
And 2 straight right there. Both fastballs missing up in the zone. Mentioned a lot of breaking balls throughout this entire inning. For Queen, fastball has been up consistently. He's only really been able to land that breaking ball in the zone so far. Jackson doing a nice job laying off.
And he missed again with the fastball. And it's 3-0 on Jackson West.
You're Jackson West right here. You're taking 2 straight strikes. You got to force him back in the zone here.
Queen needs to throw a strike. And he does, as West tried to disrupt his rhythm by showing bunt, even though everybody knew.
Yeah, gave his best effort there.
That was just for show.
Nice job by Queen fighting back, though.
3-1. Queen's not out of the woods. Here it comes. And he snaps the curveball off, and a beauty for strike 2. Boy, the guts to throw that pitch. Even though that's the best command he's had, though, is that curveball.
No doubt about it. It's been the pitch that he's gone to. They say what you get 3-1, you oftentimes get 3-2.
The 3-2. Ball 4 missed with the curveball. That forces in a run. It's 3-1 Florida State. Max Williams comes in for the Seminoles and a 2-run lead.
Boy, oh boy, that's a big one for the Noles right there. Back-to-back fantastic at-bats. Hankerson. And Jackson West. Discipline. This is a Florida State club that scores almost 40% of their runs on the year via the big fly, the home run. But today, it's been those passing of the baton at bats, laying off tough pitches. Big run there for the Noles.
They're going to send in a runner at second for James Hankerson Jr. And pinch running for Florida State, that is B.J. Gibson. And you may know that name from football lore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exciting stuff. 2-way guy. Florida State's a program really throughout the year is always a ton of 2-way guys that play football and baseball. I played with Taiwan Easterling, receiver at Florida State, heck of a ball player. And of course, Mr. Jameis Winston, the great.
How about Coach Prime?
Deion Sanders, how could I forget you, man?
Yeah.
I forgot, man. So much. He's at Colorado now, man. He dogged my Noles a bit.
Fouled back by Chase Williams, who is 0 for 3. Little bit of breathing room for Florida State. When we get to the 9th, they have a 2-run lead now instead of a 1-run cushion. Wyatt Queen dealing with the mess, and the 1-strike pitch hit on the ground to second base. Fielded, A.J. Singer throws out Chase Williams. They leave him loaded, but they get a run. Florida State needing 3 more outs to force a Game 3 tomorrow night. 3-1 Florida State. Single runs in the 7th and 8th, breaking a 1-1 tie. And then 3 outs away from evening this best of 3 Super Regional Series in Corvallis and forcing a winner-take-all Game 3 here tomorrow night. Florida State fans are probably cringing we put that up considering what happened yesterday.
Oh yeah, they weren't too happy with me. They lit my Twitter up. The good old announcers jinx. But I tell you what, this Oregon State club, they got all the credit. That was a heck of a comeback late in the ball game, but Florida State an opportunity to redeem themselves and bounce back after a tough one last night.
6, 7, and 8 for Oregon State against Peyton Prescott, who fires strike 1 to A.J. Singer, who is 0 for 3. By the way, we forgot about Terrell Buckley. Oh, there's another one.
Sorry, T-Buck.
Thank you, Eduardo Perez.
The great Eduardo Perez.
And a one-time teammate of Link Jarrett at Florida State just a few seasons ago. 1-1 on Singer. He had the walk-off hit to end Game 1 in the 10th yesterday. Oregon State needs to get a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. And a called strike 2 to A.J. Singer. Peyton Prescott, the pitch, fouled away. Another heater, 98 from Prescott.
That's a big arm, man.
High octane.
Big time, big time.
Prescott, the pitch. And a take by Singer, and it's 2-2 on the Beavers' second baseman.
Go for Oregon State here. Get a man on, bring the tying run to home plate.
Just missed to Singer, and it's full. It was this part of the order that started the rally in the 9th inning yesterday. Oregon State, the visiting team here in Game 2. The payoff, and it's ball 4, and Singer is on. A leadoff walk to start the 9th, and here comes Tice Peterson for Oregon State.
It's an incredible bat right there from A.J. Singer. Laying off after tough pitch after tough pitch. Oregon State brings the tying run to home plate.
And a pinch hitter for the Beavers, Bryce Hubbard, who pinch hit yesterday in the 9th inning rally and drew a walk.
Yes, similar situation, pinch hit for Tice Peterson.
Setting up a left-handed bat. To face the righty Prescott. Hubbard, 19 at bats this season, is 4 for 19, but he has walked 10 times. And he fouls it straight back.
And 1 for 6 on the year as a pinch hitter.
Even though he's only hitting .211, granted it's 19 at bats, he has an on-base percentage of .500.
Showed it off last night.
Singer at first. A 1-strike pitch. Mighty cut and a swing and miss. And it's 0-2 on Bryce Hubbard.
How about that pitch right there? Change up. First time seeing it tonight.
Briefly at Mississippi State. Hubbard then at Northwest Florida State. The 0-2. Tapped foul at the plate, and he fought it off. The count holds 0-2. Peyton Prescott trying to finish it off for Florida State. Got him, 1 down.
Absolutely disgusting right there in an 0-2 count. 100-mile-per-hour fastball sets up the ability to go below the zone. With that off-speed pitch right there, it looks like a heater out the hand. Falls right off the table. First big out of the inning for Prescott.
Another pinch hitter for the Beavers. This will be Dallas Macias. The junior from Parker, Colorado, had a pinch hit single in the 9th yesterday. He's had a frustrating season after an all Pac-12 season a year ago for Macias, although he is 4 for 8 as a pinch hitter. A.J. Singer at first, Prescott. And it's strike 1 in there to Macias. And 2 for 12 in the regional. Started 3 games at DH. He had .315 with 8 homers last year. 1 strike pitch, and he fooled him. Couldn't hold up at a breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 0-2 quickly on Macias.
Yeah, just absolutely filthy right there in an 0-1 count. Pumped up, ready to go. And a great job back behind the plate. Jackson West right there.
A.J. Singer, the runner at first. Prescott, the 2-strike pitch. And that's outside, went with the slider again. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Macias, with Jacob Craig looming on deck for Oregon State. One and 2 on Macias. The pitch. Got him. Struck him out again with the slider. And Macias, strikeout victim number 3 for Prescott.
Yeah, just fantastic right there. 4 off-speed pitches in a row in the zone. Filthy.
Last hope for Oregon State. Here comes Jacob Craig. He came through in the 9th yesterday with 2 strikes and 2 down. Had the 2-run single that tied the game. He is 2 for 3 tonight. And it's a strike from Prescott. And even his out was a line drive of the second baseman, Drew Farrell.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable at the plate.
One strike pitch. Did he go? Yes, on appeal, says Darren Hyman down at first.
And a breaking ball again right there.
Yep.
Yes, he did. Good call.
Oregon State down to their last strike. Peyton Prescott. And that one squirts away from the catcher, Jackson West. And a wild pitch advancing A.J. Singer.
And going to the breaking ball there. Florida State with the 2-run lead. That run out there means absolutely nothing but a spiked breaking ball. Jackson West trying to get around the ball. Just stayed down on him.
A ball and 2 strikes on Craig. Prescott. The pitch. And it's low. 2-2 on the Beavs' first baseman and 9-hitter who has 13 homers this year.
And great take right there. That's 7 off-speed pitches in a row for Prescott.
Prescott. The 2-2. Check swing. Strike 3 called. Ball game. And Florida State hangs on. And the Seminoles even this Super Regional Series. And Game 3 coming up tomorrow night.
Boy, oh boy. How about them Noles, baby? Fantastic response. Rowdy environment. How are you going to respond after getting punched in the chin last night late? Well, you got your ace on the mound in Jamie Arnold. He delivered from pitch 1 tonight. And these Noles, 3 2-out RBIs, the difference today.
Our Capital One rewarding performance tonight. And it's the aforementioned Jamie Arnold, who struggled early, but then battled and struck out 9 in 6 2/3.
What makes the greats great? Well, when they don't have their best stuff from the very beginning, they battle and they find a way through. And that's exactly what Jamie Arnold did today in the biggest outing in his entire career in a Florida State uniform. And one heck of a career for that young man. He delivered in the biggest moment.
And speaking of Jamie Arnold, he joins us down from the field. Jamie, appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
What was your mindset coming into tonight, knowing the scenario?
Same as always. I think, like, just like last week, everything's on the line. So just bring my best stuff, just stay positive, even though we're, down in the count, but stay positive and just work through it.
Jamie, you're a guy that's just gotten better and better throughout your career, and you pitched in a ton of big games, but in the biggest game in your Florida State career, you delivered in your biggest outing. What can you say about the work between you and Micah Posey throughout this season?
Yeah, we just stuck together. I mean, there's ebbs and flows every season. I think we had some down games, and, we're looking good down the stretch, so that's all you can ask. I love Posey. I wouldn't be where I'm at without him.
Hey, Jamie, it seemed like you were fighting yourself a bit early in this game. Then something clicked. Did you get a sense that you settled into this game around the third inning?
Yeah, I think I was fighting a little jet lag. I'm not going to lie. I thought that wasn't real, but got to the third. I was a little tired. Had some caffeine. I felt good after that. So,
Jay, you guys found a way to take it to Game 3. You're one win away from bringing the Seminoles back to Omaha, Nebraska, where the Seminoles know pretty well. What's made this ride so special this year? What makes this team, what makes you confident in that game tomorrow?
Yeah, we fight. I mean, we don't really give up. Yesterday was tough, but, we responded, and that's what we've done all year. And I have so much hope for us, and, we stay positive through it all. So,
great effort tonight, Jamie. It was a pleasure watching you pitch, and we'll see you out here tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Congrats, Jay.
Thank you.
6 2/3 for Jamie Arnold. Gives up just 1 run with 9 strikeouts. And after a 50-pitch first couple of innings, he was able to settle in and help Florida State even this series. And we have a winner-take-all, Game 3, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific tomorrow night.
Just a fantastic ball game. 2 evenly matched clubs going at it from pitch 1. Kleinschmidt was fantastic today. But to Game 3 we go. Opportunity. College World Series on the line.
Single runs in the 7th and 8th for Florida State. They win it 3-1. We'll see you tomorrow night with Game 3. Florida State and Oregon State. The winner will head to Omaha. For Devin Travis and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein, so long from Corvallis in the Pacific Northwest. What a ball game. We'll see you tomorrow night.